Life sitting in a taxi, head out the window screaming I'm too young to die. I'd bring you home, what I know I'm missing 2 a.m.
Hello, Smite Draft League, and welcome to more Scouting Grounds action. Today we've got a Mortal Division, and we've got lots of people to go alongside it. My name is AnthonyMalum. I'm joined on the desk with Suun, and we've got Zebra Cakes versus the Swiss Rolls. It's a battle of more hostess snacks.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I seem to have lost you to the abyss, Suun. It's all right. We'll get you back here at some point. But with more of the Scouting Grounds action and the way things go, I'm excited to really see. We haven't had too much Immortal action that's been crazy back and forths. And I'm kind of looking for one of the chaotic Scouting Ground sets that we tend to see. A lot of times people kind of throw inhibitions to the side and go buck wild with it. And I could really see that being the case here because we're getting closer to the end of Scouting Grounds. You just want to show off and show what you got.
yeah, and again, with these Scouting Ground games, last time we had Zebra Cakes versus Swiss Rolls, they had some very interesting picks come out, and I understand that there's a lot of different names on these same teams, but we'll be interested to see if there'll be some other interesting picks, especially because, again, these Scouting Ground games, a lot of teams are looking to pick some comfort things for them and showcase those off, and also definitely the meta picks as well. So be interested to see when these first bans start coming out. Who do you think will be getting taken off the board right away?
It's hard to tell. I mean, these little Debbie teams are... The mega minds on the teams are huge. I said hostess before, but excuse me. It's little Debbie. But the big thing that I'm noticing right away, there's a few players we recognize from last season, mostly Strat and Chris, but the overarching theme, and Reyhum, excuse me, the overarching theme that makes me so excited is there's so many new names to the SDL. And with prioritizing meta, a lot of people have talked about in Scouting Grounds so far, when you get in that first game, you don't know who you're playing with. There's no synergy yet. So it's really easy just to basically say, like, let's just ban the top rank bans, get them off the table, and then let's focus on comfort while we get used to each other.
Yeah, and I definitely see a lot of these teams elect to ban a lot of the top picks or meta that develops during these lands, especially with the Smite Masters going on right now. There's definitely some bans that we've already seen some crazy things happening with that these last 2 weeks. The Robin, especially. Marty is still definitely top. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Marty also being cream of the crop right now when it comes to the ADC role or mid. That flex potential is very important that these teams have to consider. And I mean, seeing this Kali taken off the board too, we saw some teams last week here in the Scouting Grounds that just absolutely destroyed on the Kali. So definitely love to see that getting banned out as well.
For sure, Kali is just an ever persistent threat, and the penta-kill potential is always there. And Scouting Grounds, like I said, it can be more chaotic. So characters like that are just they're a lot to deal with.
Yeah, those hyper carries, especially out of the junglers, can be very scary in these Scouting Ground games because these teams aren't necessarily like perfectly balanced as we would typically see during the actual season and during the actual matches that's going on then. So, you know, sometimes these junglers, when they get to rotate around the map, if they find a weak link, they can definitely capitalize on that.
And with the first lock-in for this game, we've got the Fenrir lock-in. And notably, that Fenrir lock-in is actually on a support.
Interesting to see. So I'm not entirely sure what they're planning with that, but that'll be...
Let them cook.
Yeah.
The Scouting Grounds.
Yeah, Scouting Grounds. Let them cook, yeah. So, I mean, if
it's like Hell's Kitchen, but for Smite.
I think that's probably the best way you could have put that, I'm going to be honest.
Thank you. I'm going to put that one in the bank. I'm going to pull that one back out eventually because it's clean. But I do like what the Fenrir support brings is we kind of talked about that lack of synergy, and for lack of a better phrase, lack of confidence. And because you're not comfortable yet, you're not fully accustomed to your team. So I feel like you need to kind of have a fallback option. And I think Fenrir support feels okay for the person playing it, because even if your team completely falls apart, you don't feel as useless as you might on, say, a Nox or a Ymir who gets behind.
Yeah, I mean, with his ultimate, I mean, you could at least grab opponents and throw them into tower, even if your teammates aren't around, or you just need to use that to just disengage because of the amount of protections you get when you're in that ultimate form. Can help tremendously, and you're CC immune the whole time, so you can't be locked down like maybe like a Sylvanas pick, something that's a lot more unforgiving when it comes to getting behind. So, and it looks like an Artemis getting locked in as well.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you, Hachi wasn't banned. Rama's not taken off the table. On her was available, but the Artemis lock-in.
You know, I, for one, think Artemis feels pretty solid right now from all my casual gaming endeavors that I've had with her recently.
Sheesh.
So she is a lot of fun to play right now, and a lot of people aren't expecting that. The damage that she can output, especially with these ADC builds that are going on right now, she can really shred. So it'll be very interesting to see, and a Kakulin lock-in as well. So who do you think that we might end up seeing to oppose this high-pressure pick in the solo lane?
You know, it kind of goes into that there's a lot of options available. We haven't seen a tier banned yet. I mean, we're in the second ban phase, so that is certainly an option worth considering taking off the table. Robin, we've seen flexed a bit. There's been an uptick in Jormungandr. I mean, we talked about SPL. That was played today, but even before that, in our scouting grounds, I've seen more Jormungandr solos than I'm accustomed to.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like he's been slowly creeping his way back up to a top meta pick, top meta ban. I mean, definitely not necessarily in the ban column, but I've been seeing him picked a lot more, like you've been saying.
Yeah.
So very interesting to see. It looks like we got a Geb to round out the first half of the picks for the Swiss rolls, and then we got ourselves a Baba Yaga ban, and there's that Rom ban that we talked about. So
trying to get a control of what the other ADC could pick. I'm surprised Hachi is still not off the table, banning the Rama over the Hachi. Normally, we kind of see Rama be the fallback option if Hachi's banned.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Hachi ban come out right now. So maybe they're just doing it slightly out of order.
And if it's not banned, it's a lock, surely.
Oh yeah, you would think, right? Like it has to be. I mean, it's just such a powerful pick right now. I mean, they've toned down his but we got an Ishtar instead. So I mean, very similar-ish playstyles between the Hachi and Ishtar, in my opinion. I mean, when it comes to lane clear and poking from a distance with those increased ranged autos.
Right.
So, but maybe they just saw Ishtar, maybe because of the potential lockdown on the Fenrir. So, because of the cripple with her ultimate. So that might come into play. So
I'm throwing my whole notebook out.
All right.
I got nothing. The Medusa lock-in. I love that, though. I mean, Artemis versus Medusa, it's been eons.
That was like top meta, like season 2. Like we're both of these picks.
Exactly.
Like it has
I'm
been
waiting
a
for them
long
to do
time.
like the Bluestone and Death's Toll buy.
Yeah, and like old Heartseeker, like really old Heartseeker. So back when Medusa first came out during season 2, I mean, she was just such a bully with that old Heartseeker, and Artemis was still top of the meta back then as well, and a Cleo getting locked in as well. I mean, I don't know about you, but I am a fan of this assassin. Just the ability to just walk through walls and be able to disengage or engage when teammates aren't expecting it if they're not paying attention to their debuff bar. I mean,
and the way that Tear the Veil controls team fights.
Oh yeah,
ridiculous.
Yeah, can easily cut down a team fight straight down the middle because nobody wants to walk through that. Otherwise, you're taking like close to 500 damage easily, and she gets 2 of them. So.
Yeah, and it's just, like we said, you just have to respect it, and you have to play your entire team fight around where it's coming from, which is frustrating. And with the last 2 picks about to come out, I'm going to ask you early. So as the teams are getting locked up, looks like it might be a Tiamat as the final pick for, and it will be for Zebra Cakes. Take me through what you're expecting to see from Zebra Cakes as a comp.
For Zebra Cakes, I definitely think that, I mean, with a Fenrir support and a Cleo in the jungle with an Artemis ADC, I definitely feel like it might be a fight lane over in that duo lane. So they might be looking to put a lot of pressure over there. So having a Geb on Swiss rolls can help alleviate a lot of that pressure on the Medusa. And so it'll be interesting to see. I'm expecting a lot of pressure over there, but I mean, potentially Cleo Kakulin solo lane, that's kind of scary for whoever we got on the other side. And a safe pick in the Guan Yu with a little bit of healing and that CC immunity with extra movement speed ultimate will definitely help you escape a scary potential jungle gank coming out from Zebra Cakes.
Both compositions have entirely different approaches, and they both feel like screw the meta, let's be comfortable, which, hey, That's literally what we said is the case in Scouting Grounds a lot. Just play what you're good at because captains are looking for players. They're not. You can't draft an entire team that you've seen in Scouting Grounds. It's never going to happen. You got to just look for who's standing out. So same question, but for who is it? Swiss rolls. I got to get used to all the little Debbie names.
Swiss rolls, yeah.
For Swiss rolls, take me through what you expect to see.
I mean, with a Janus Susano, that's a lot of early game burst, just from the amount of CC that Susano can do. I mean, pulling in the opposing mid and then just a portal sitting there, and both of them just going to blow up their abilities on them. That's a lot of pressure in the mid lane right there. And with a Geb helping to alleviate any damage that they might take and, you know, pulling in an opponent towards them, will definitely help with that. So I'm expecting a little bit of mid play coming out from Swiss rolls, and maybe a little bit of side lanes action coming out from Zebra Cakes, but only one way to find out.
It's going to be a massive story to watch unfold. And I said I wanted chaos, and I always say that for Scouting Grounds because I think that what better way to show yourself off than to just fight like crazy and never stop fighting. And I have a strong inkling that is what we're going to see with these two team comps. These don't strike me as two teams that are going to sit back. I mean, you mentioned to watch the dual lane for Zebra Cakes and the mid lane for the Sweet Rolls, and Swiss Rolls. I said Sweet Rolls. I'm thinking Skyrim. I expect the mid to be a big problem, but it's time to answer that question, and I'll be joined in game by JeeringLamb. See you there. Hello, we're back. I missed you. Hope you missed me. Once again, I'm AnthonyMalum. I'm joined by JeeringLamb in game. Zebra Cakes versus Swiss Rolls, Immortal Scouting Grounds. Jeering, let's do it. Did you miss me?
Oh, I did miss you. I missed this. This is going to be some absolutely exciting action. As you saying on the desk, this is going to be a lot of chaos, and I'm looking at this. A Fenrir support with an Artemis 80s. If this isn't going to spell out chaos, I don't know what doesn't.
Yeah, I think, I mean, Sun made great points, you made a great point, but, you know, plain and simple, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that Zebra Cakes needs to make use of the Fenrir support early, because if it goes too long without doing Fenrir support things, you're going to be in problem land. And if we look at relics, which is always the thing I like to do at the very start, we can see, and it's already been used, it looks like, that we see the Sunder on the Fenrir support.
I think that's going to be very helpful in the late game, especially with that Geb shield, when it just makes it so hard to take anybody down. In this early game, it's just getting shredded immediately. So that early game aggression and high damage output coming from the Fenrir is really the aggression that the Zebra Cakes are looking for.
I do like the wherewithal from Strat to pick that up and kind of lock that down for his team. Another interesting thing relic-wise is Swiss Rolls, with the exception being solo lane. 4 purification beads for the chaos side.
Yeah, they definitely have no interest in getting picked up by Fenrir. That Ragnarok is just so dangerous. But speaking of dangerous, Swiss Rolls getting active early on.
And Susano's over, and the Sunder's not going to help out here. Huntor is the first to fall, and Swiss Rolls gets the first blood. Up next could be Strat. He's on the outside, but Yeet gets inside the Soul Surge and picks up a double kill. Swiss Rolls starting out 2-0 already.
You could say they're already on a roll, picking up the first 2. Both of the dual lane falling down very early. Not even the first 2 minutes, but looks like Zebra Cakes want to return a little bit of something on the solo side, but I don't know if they can get that.
Just going to lock down the silver buff, clean up the cooldown, and help Crisp get a bit more pressure in the lane above. KJ, who's down to half health, so has to play a bit further back. Not exactly looking to brawl, I would think. But I always tend to be proven wrong in solo lane, especially in Immortal. And KJ steps up to wave. Crisp not able to take advantage of it, however. I can't help but feel like Crisp would have liked to make more out of that.
Not without the transformation from the Rage, at least. Maybe next wave will have a lot more kill pressure, but for now, he's just going to have to bide his time, take the wave pressure, secure totem, just get as much of a lead as he can, and continue using that pressure to keep him away.
The Lizard under a lot of pressure right now from Aritti. An Unstable Vortex from Pluto will help clean it up. 3-0 already for Swiss Rolls. They're off to a quick start, and we've seen 2 of them go to ADC, which is the opposite of what Cakes needed in duo, and now 1 on Giannis to help the pressure of that mid lane that we were talking about. That's a quick way to be problematic. KJ in a problem, but has cavalry charge and dashes away just in time.
Could have been dangerous for KJ there, getting very low on the HP. Does have teleport to get back to lane safely, so not losing too much farm. But I'm looking over in the duel in the mid lane. Artemis ADC, great if you're ahead or on par, but when you're behind, really hard to get yourself back in. And Tiamat does not have the greatest of wave clear early on, so they're really playing for that late game on the Zebra Cakes.
I'm gonna be looking at that Artemis throughout the entire game, but I'm perplexed by something. We're gonna have to wait for you to help me figure it out. SIRvente gets pulled in by Ragnarok. Shield used, rolled out, stopped by the Tusky, and that will do it. The Brutalize locks it down for Strat. Goodbye to Venti. The beads wasn't used from Geb, which is questionable. But the thing that's just like screaming at me, in the bottom left corner, Huntor on the Artemis is rocking a blue stone and building into the pen tree.
Well, Artemis did get a nice little buff on her 3, suppressed the insolent, getting a little bit more damage. Really just making use of that extra ability damage that Artemis has now. It's some new tech. They're cooking up something new. It's Scouting Grounds, a new season, a new update. You gotta bring out all the new recipes.
Yeah, I mean, hey, cook away. Scouting Grounds is the time to cook. The captains are looking for the best chefs they can find. SIRvente trying to find Huntor will just get the knock up. No more than that. YeetOnDaNaeNae not feeling like going crazy. Reyhum, level 7 already on this Tiamat in mid, despite the kill advantage that Pluto got.
Trying to get some rotations in, but in this case, Pluto has just not been able to get quite enough from those rotations. The early kill was a nice lead, but just being active on that farm, securing side camps, and making sure you get every last piece of XP. Tiamat's doing a really good job. Reyhum is staying on top of it, and that's really starting to show.
The Giannis having those rotations for mid game, kind of in early game for that matter, is kind of the main use because it's not like we're looking at the insane damage early. But Giannis right now is doing so much late. Do you think that the Tiamat matches up well enough to the Giannis come that late game?
It certainly can. It also depends on the build pathing. If you play a little bit too passive, it could turn out wrong.
I thought for sure Huntor would walk away as Aritti was on a ward, but that was not the case, and Aritti gonna find Huntor, who had a lot of time to prepare, but maybe wanted to try to just step up and see if showing face could alleviate that pressure, kind of like when you wave to a jungler who's lying in wait.
Just not quite able to get out of there in time. We did see the war come out, but it's just not enough CC immunity. Bead's still held, but a lot of aggression going on in the mid lane now, too.
Through space and time was used onto Strat, but it was used for nothing more than poke. A rotation's out from KJtheGreat, but there's nothing quite to fight over in mid yet, so we're gonna head on back. Pluto was able to stay safe despite Blizzard going in the walls, so a lot of doors are cracked, but none of them are being pulled open yet.
Some questions being asked, but right now it's nothing more than just inquiries. A lot of people in the mid lane fighting, but the beacons aren't open for another few minutes. So right now, it's mostly just a game of trying to farm up and get ready before that happens.
It's oddly calm for a game that's 4-1 already. I mean, that's, you know, a lot of kills for 7 minutes. The gold isn't much to speak of. SIRvente might be the topic of discussion. Does get away for the time being, and rollout already being bold, so we'll get away again. And didn't use the beads, which is fully upgraded as well.
That is a upgraded tier 2 beads that has not been used once this game. I mean, granted, Geb does have the shield, provides CC immunity. Cataclysm, also some good CC immunity. Really good to get out of those sticky situations. But if that's the case, why does SIRvente need the beads in this case?
Yeah, I'm looking to see more use out of it. I kind of feel like if you're going to go and commit to it, you should almost try to put yourself in the situation to use it. That might sound weird, but hey, be the one who has to be the beads burner. Strat jumps in on Yeet, but they don't intend on diving in fully. They could get cut off by aritti, but aritti turns back and will run into the Lizard. The Lizard got in the wall, though. So again, an odd pacing. And all this positioning is leading to a lot of potential fights, but not a lot of fights, which kind of leaves there leaves a lot of room for chaos potential, but so far it's just been shockingly calm, and it kind of feels like a calm before the storm type of thing.
It really is just a lot of questioning looks, but so far nobody's really speaking out. Earlier we saw a lot of kills happen really quickly. First blood coming out in the first 2 minutes, another one following it immediately after in the duo lane. Very quick 2 kills, followed up by a third in mid lane. But since then, nobody's really been making much discussion. It's mostly just been contesting neutral farm and maybe some traded abilities. But as of right now, like you've said, 4-1 after what we saw earlier this game is not much, but it looks like solo lane is going to get the first of it.
3 people over here on the Crisp. Cavalry charge, and out through space and time gets added in, and they use Typhoon. Everything's dropped. Poor Crisp.
Poor Crisp was just on the receiving end of that. Swiss rolls finally ready to ask the questions. Cavalry charge, Typhoon, through space and time, and Cataclysm will all be used to knock Crisp down. But now it looks like SIRvente's the one getting a little bit run at the red buff, but...
Well, jokes on you guys. Walk away. He's got beads. Reyhum and Strat in very deep. Ragnarok used, picks up aritti, who also doesn't use beads in Ragnarok. Face tanks it, no real risk, so no need to. Now Strat in trouble, but aritti getting poked out significantly from Reyhum, has to back up. Now going aggressive is the Lizard, but Swiss rolls, gonna take the easy path and back up, which gives me time to go back to the ADC rolls. Because the cooking is continuing. A Jotun's Wrath first item, building into a Fail Not for Huntor, and a Griffin Wing on the way for Yeet. The baking is real. They're pastry chefs at this point.
We're seeing a lot coming out, but so far this Artemis build is just screaming early game, looking to get those cooldowns as early as possible. Jotuns and Fail Not for that 40% CDR, looking to just send the boar out as often as possible, try and bait the beads for those early picks. But right now, Zebra Cakes just aren't in the best position to be doing that, or actually being able to pull it off, rather. They just have not had the correct spacing and the timing to get there the way that they want to.
I am looking for a significant change in the pace of everything. I'm not one who thinks that slow equals bad. I think slow equals smart. But when you're playing slow and nobody's winning out on the macro battles, the vision battles haven't really been there either. I mean, the right side is devoid of any wards. Something's got to change. There's got to be somebody to kind of make some calls and get aggressive with something to at least get control of the map, if nothing else.
Isn't the right side being devoid of wards just standard solo lane, though?
Yeah, Heavy Warcrier is smiling somewhere.
Every solo laner who knows exactly how many wards that they place in the average game knows exactly what's going on. They all know what's being said here. The duo side, however, getting a lot of wards and a lot of action as we see another rotation coming out.
Strat deep on NaeNae, but Huntor just hanging back, not going crazy. Through space and time, almost hits NaeNae. Friendly fire turned off, thankfully. And Swiss rolls and Zebra Cakes will separate once again. Pluto just sending it out in case they needed to rotate, but with Zebra Cakes not getting aggressive, the need was not there. Yeet and Strat run into each other, fight over the ward, and now Vision goes the way of Zebra Cakes, actually, because the Sentry ward worked out in the favor of Zebra Cakes. I expected Yeet to win that against a Fenrir, but didn't get quite lucky enough. And now with the beacon up and 12 minutes, we're starting to see what could be the first big team fight, and the ADCs are rotating over.
4 on the side of Swiss rolls are already in there trying to capture it. You guys are trying to get active on NaeNae, but taking a little bit of damage for it. Typhoon comes out, forcing Lizard away. Zebra Cake's just opting to go back out of it. But
oh,
really
Huntor's cooking! See? The Fail Not! He's cooking! Reyhum cleans up aritti, but Pluto finds the back line and gets Huntor on Hunter's way out. And now Pluto is on the Great Escape and running towards the Phoenix. Going to try to get a portal off, but it's going to get caught and not be able to escape. Strat going to drop as well. KJ did finally find the kill onto Strat. Double kill for Reyhum. And Zebra Cakes is pushing the issue even further than that. Next up is Yeet. And ZebraCakes now with the 3-on-2 advantage, but Blizzard's dropping low, and KJtheGreat finds a double kill out of it. The chaos is working out well for KJ, if nobody else aside from Reyhum. Swiss Roll's now going to retreat in the 2v2. Simply could not continue the upper hand, but ZebraCakes doesn't want to let them go. They could be chasing too deep. Aritti's on the way. KJ certainly low, but now the blink forward from the Susano going to look and try to find Reyhum. KJ low. SIRvente low as well, and Crisp does clean up the kill on a KJ before aritti could do anything about it. Through space and time from downtown finds Reyhum. And that should be the call for ZebraCakes to retreat, but here they come again, and Strat goes aggressive. It's one for Strat, another for Crisp to get the double kill, and now they're going to chase aritti away. Yeet also showed up, but had to think better of it. And somehow this fight's turned into a Gold Fury for ZebraCakes.
What started out as Swiss Rolls getting aggressive turned into a ZebraCakes turning it on their head. Got a little bit too aggressive. Swiss Rolls caught back up. ZebraCakes respawned first.
Typhoon going for the steal, but they let it go just in time. KJ did find a kill into Crisp. Next up should be Strat. Huntor not looking too great either. And Yeet's going to find Huntor, but a bit of a beyond the grave kill for the Artemis onto the Susano. And now Gold Fury reset again, and they have to let it go. And hanging out on the walls is Blizzard, and that'll equal safety to get away from KJtheGreat, who, by the way, is still on the left side of the map.
Even more curiously, after all of that, ZebraCakes are still about 300 gold in the lead.
For 14 minutes, 30 seconds, 8-12, you would think that would not be the case, but gold difference is, look at the chart. It looks broken. It's earthquake level. Experience 2K is the only thing really worth looking at, but I gotta be honest, I'm confused.
There's a lot going on in this game. Speaking of, more action in the duel lane.
Petrify found two. Oh, but Yeet. Oh no. I think you and I thought the same thing. I thought for a second we both thought that Yeet might turn around, but it just wasn't the case.
That's what it looked like. I saw the Beads Aegis come out, Petrify was there, but there are also 3 members of ZebraCakes, so looks like Yeet is just going to be taking a little bit of a nap for a few seconds.
I think we could all use that. And look at the top left of the map again. Strat and Huntor are at the chest buff, hiding, waiting to see who steps over. Pluto is going to be the one to step over. Strat gets aggressive, but Huntor walked away. Pluto used the portal. But ZebraCakes just kind of living in this left side. KJtheGreat stopped paying rent a while ago, but it's been wild to see the way the map's being utilized. And now aritti's chasing down Huntor. Link forward, the pull in not good. Tusky used as well. Typhoon for the knockup is good. Huntor down to half. The rotation comes out from Pluto. aritti gets the Geb shield, and Pluto deletes Huntor. It's just Strat left over here, gonna get the jump away, and Gold Fury gonna get pulled by the Swiss Rolls. Strat tanky enough to consider the contest. It's down to half health. Runes popped. Pyro pulled on the right side. Stygian Beacon charging. Everything's getting dropped. Strat will not get the steal. Swiss Rolls get the gold, but ZebraCakes get the Pyromancer. aritti goes aggressive on to Strat, who gets over the wall, but he already used a jet stream, so cannot follow, and Strat gonna get away with the tail between his legs.
Manages to survive. They trade objectives. So far, they're not feeling too bad. P1 tower in mid going down as Crisp and Reyhum end up securing it. That'll be a little bit more money in the pocket of ZebraCakes, who once again are retaining the gold lead.
I think that's the funniest part of this all this chaos, is the gold lead is staying so consistent.
And it's also another thing to note that in the mid lane, still 2-level lead. Supports have a 2-level lead for ZebraCakes, but on ADC side, Yeet has 1-level lead.
What do you think, build-wise, we're going to see out of this Artemis going forward? We already have the Jotuns, the Fail Not. I have zero guess of what this is going to be next. Where do you expect the end goal is? And answer me after we see how Strat goes on the Yeet. I don't think Strat has the damage they may expect, and SIRvente and Yeet will make that clear through space and time for the good measure and safety, just in case there was somebody following up. Swiss Rolls does have deep wards on left, but still we're nervous. Back to the ADC question though, Jer. What do you expect this build to what do you think the end goal of this build is going to look like? because Huntor has been cooking.
I was going to say earlier, I feel like that's either going to be an Executioner or a Inside. I would expect that both of them wind up in this build at some point, but I think Dominance is also a safe call.
We'll have to look for the dominance. Crisp now dealing with the 1v4. The Typhoon will certainly secure it. Aritti does get the credit. Everybody on Zebra Cakes stepped over to the beacon to wait it out. It is just now available to capture. It will not take long, but Yeet is coming to contest all 4 members. Aritti and Venti from the right. Strat goes in. Petrify finds a home, and Huntor is going to get dropped by Yeet. Blizzard did find a return onto Aritti. Beacon now being contested by Swiss Rolls and turning back, losing the blue dominance of it. KJ goes aggressive. We saw earlier KJ's got the skill for these fights. Will he be the difference maker again? It's enough for Zebra Cakes to back off, and now Swiss Rolls has the aggro of Beacon. It somehow, Zebra Cakes not able to step back in quite yet. KJ gonna go aggressive to make sure that's the case, and that's a Beacon for the Swiss Rolls. Now a blink forward from Crisp and Strat to go aggressive and try to continue the craziness. Jump from Strat on the stun of KJ, but again, Swiss Rolls able to just walk away on their own terms.
Zebra Cakes were not even 2 seconds away from finishing the secure on the beacon, but ended up stepping away just a moment too soon. They ended up sacrificing the team fight over and right for the beacon, but it just didn't work out the way that they were hoping to, and unfortunately, they were just a moment too late. Swiss Rolls taking good advantage of the extra time that they had, really putting in the work together.
These team fights are playing out very odd. It kind of feels like both teams are using their cooldowns at the beginning of every team fight, but the cooldowns aren't really finding much, so it kind of turns into everything but the kitchen sink halfway through, and then that's where the damage is done. And then by the end, everyone's waiting on cooldowns to try to continue the fighting, and it just doesn't work out. Left side, Huntor and Yeet gonna test the 1v1 waters. Huntor getting the better so far, but Aritti rotating over. Blizzard's actually backing because of no mana. So now Huntor will go under the tower and be victim to Aritti, who cleans it up easy peasy.
Perfectly timed Boyne coming out right at the same moment as we saw the Petrify coming out. Meanwhile, Strat, on the other hand, not intimidated at all. Still getting aggressive once again. Fearless. Absolutely fearless.
Strat support reminds me of Ace Concept support. Another Ragnarok to bring Aritti back to the Tear of the Veil. Blizzard was waiting, but the portal comes out and the Unstable almost hits.
That was Sunder. That was blasting Sunder, too. Strat is just fearless. This man is absolutely indomitable will, not afraid of anything. Swiss Rolls, 5-man.
Oh my goodness.
Zebra Cakes opting to go for the Pyromancer, but will they get there in time?
Oh!
Space and time coming through.
They get the Pyromancer, but now everybody from Swiss Roll is here, and Zebra Cakes have split up entirely. It's a Scooby-Doo chase, and Reyhum might be on the receiving end of the bad guy, but actually, Huntor showed up with Tusky, got the stun out, which saved Reyhum. 2v1 in the mid lane, and somehow Swiss Rolls isn't getting the better of either fight so far. Reyhum will clean up Yeet, and now SIRvente has to back up. Aritti has left the fight in mid and is heading towards the fight by solo. Swiss Rolls still on the retreat, and Zebra Cakes are still pushing out. Crisp with the blink forward to continue the chase, but steps into a portal, and look who it is. It's all reliable. Strat dives in the back and looks for the stun. Gonna chase out Aritti, who gets the jet stream. KJ walks right past at 10 HP. Now the rest of Zebra Cakes is here, and we're diving the tier 2, and Reyhum's finding Pluto. And now Zebra Cakes will step back. The Lizard will find SIRvente on the left side of the fight. 13-6, 22 minutes, and the gold lead is only 3K, and the chaos continues. This is no longer Arena, this is Corrupted Arena.
This is cursed Arena is what it is. Zebra Cakes finally managed to turn that teamfight around after quite a chaotic start to the teamfight. But here comes Swiss Rolls to contest the Fire Giant.
Who needs the Fire Giant when you can just fight? Aritti gonna take on Huntor and find it. Bloodforge proc will dissuade Blizzard. Strat is still doing Strat things, but the Petrify hits, but the jump gets away. Crisp alone with KJ, and it's a double kill for aritti. And now Swiss Rolls is going to chase deep. It's a triple kill for aritti onto Strat. Now Zebra Cakes falls apart.
Well, it turned out so well, but they got just a little bit too greedy with the Fire Giant. Zebra Cakes will end up paying for it with their lives. All but 2 left to try and save this Fire Giant as Swiss Rolls getting active on it. Reyhum and Blizzard coming in hot, but aritti here to make sure no funny business happens.
The Fire Giant's at half health. Tear the Veil used already, but Blizzard's dropping too low to contest. Reyhum here, but Swiss Rolls had to let the Fire Giant go because they were getting too low. Reyhum gonna get dropped by Pluto, and now the chase turns for the Cleo. And she's gonna drop with the help of the buff! It's a rampage for aritti, and Swiss Rolls walk away. The victors of the fight, but the Fire Giant remains on the table.
After getting pulled, what was that, 3-4 times, Fire Giant still stands. Zebra Cakes now 13-21. Swiss Rolls finally take the gold lead back for themselves. And now Zebra Cakes down 2 members, trying to get what they can, but aritti coming in hot on Huntor.
aritti down to half health, and Huntor are going to take steps away. And the chase will go out. Portal from Pluto. The chase is going to go crazy for Huntor. Movement speed proc 2, but aritti's got the movement. Now KJ with the cavalry charge to cut off Huntor. Typhoon for the knock-up, and aritti gets the basic to find it. Strat will not go crazy this time. And Swiss Rolls will back up. Strat just going to trade some blows with Venti for the fun of it.
Just trying to take down the health of that support. Don't want them to tank any objectives. Strat is onto something here, I'm telling you. Making sure that they can't take any objectives. It worked on
I'm
the
so
Fire
happy
Giant.
I'm not the analyst, Jer. I'm sorry. I had to interrupt you. I can't process with what I'm watching. This is the most chaotic game
It
I've...
was dominance edition side.
You caught the build. You got that one. I hope the Bluestone turns into like a Magi's just for the fun of it. If you're gonna keep fighting anyway.
I mean,
Full
why not?
Yeah. And I also want more damage out of Strat at this point. Buy Deathbringer.
I don't know if Strat's gonna go Deathbringer. Maybe a Glad Shield or something like that.
Deathbringer. Malicious Deathbringer.
Ooh, okay, you're right.
See,
right.
I'm cooking.
No, you're right. You're right. Just
Fire
Deathbringer.
Giant got started, but I got reset again. Zebra Cakes is making a home in the mid lane. Swiss Rolls are working around. KJ decided to solo cap the hill. King of the Hill continues on the left, now walks away from it, and Zebra Cakes will get a free Stygian Beacon. Swiss Rolls will pick a fight with Strat. We've seen this a couple times. Crisp there for backup, as we're also accustomed to seeing. aritti gets a Typhoon off, just to make sure the button's still working, and it goes forward. KJ, in trouble, has to back away. An order will get the Stygian Beacon. Through space and time got sent out. Didn't quite find a home. Crisp gonna fall into the portal anyway. Should drop, and Yeet gets a double kill out of it, but Huntor is here for the return. And 2 have dropped for Swiss Rolls, and it's a 3v3, but I think everybody needs a second.
They could certainly use just a moment to breathe, trying to get some extra farm. Fire Giant still on the table. Pyromancer and Gold Fury are up, but Titan's getting ready to march down the mid lane here not too long. Both teams got to get ready for this, because this is going to be a team fight starter, if nothing else will be.
Everything in this game has been a team fight starter. The start of this game was a team fight starter. Signing up in the fixture for the Scouting Ground set was the team fight starter for these teams. We could have queued Assault, and it would have been the same process.
The real team fight starter is Sunder First Relic on a Fenrir support.
That should have been our key.
Strat is so absolutely fearless and unwavering in his sheer run it down mentality right now. This man is sheer will, and he will not take any other answer besides death.
Blink for blink, a Ragnarok to use as well, and they're going to be brought back, and aritti is going to get dropped quickly. Shutdown kill for Crisp out of it as well. KJ goes in the back with the cavalry charge, but did not quite find a home, and Crisp and Strat go aggressive. Strat takes out the Ghost of Christmas Past on the right, and the rest of Swiss Rolls will back in panic.
Keep in mind, that fight started off with Strat blinking in for the Ragnarok, jumping in, excuse me, for the Ragnarok, dropped Sunder immediately, and aritti just vanished from the screen before our very eyes. ZebraCakes using that opportunity to bait out some beads, now getting aggressive on the T2 and mid lane.
They're going to see how far up they can push this Titan, and Swiss Roll is going to go for the defense, but cannot defend the tier 2. They'll kill the Titan before Phoenix, which is important. As Strat goes in the back line again, looking for anybody who could fall victim. SIRvente may be the victim. Blizzard gets aggressive with it, but Reyhum finds the credit. And now with no Titan, ZebraCake still pushing up in mid. Primal Fury and Fire Giant are both up, so the call will be to back up. And while we're having fun this game, I mean, the individual mechanics have been there. I mean, look at this call. Oh, no. Yeet, get out.
That was a very dangerous.
That was scary.
I was all 5 members waiting and jumped. Meanwhile, Strat going in by the solo buff.
Oh, well, look at the pull. Look at the knock-up. Yeet gets the Petrify off of it, and ZebraCakes got caught out of their own trap. Crisp will have to go aggressive in the back line to keep up the aggro that they fought for, and Crisp will take on the world as long as Strat is by his side. The Ragnarok will chase aritti to the end of the earth, but aritti will get away. Pluto found one on Blizzard. Oh, through space and time.
After all of that chaos, 3 members of ZebraCakes are down now. Swiss Roll's getting active on the last 2. Strat, quarter HP. Crisp got a little bit more. Sunder to just convince them to go away, but they are not taking over an answer.
Chaos!
Crisp.
Crisp is down low, but Crisp is still fighting. KJ will get the killing spree, but Strat Sunder will be ringing through the halls of Valhalla in the memory of Crisp. Pyromancer will go to Swiss Rolls. Let's try to get a state of the game out. We're coming up on 30 minutes. It's 18-28. ZebraCakes versus Swiss Rolls. The gold lead is still only 1,000. This game is out of control. What I was trying to say before I lost my mind, is the individual mechanics here are clear. But I do feel safe in saying that in the comms of this game, I'm pretty sure they've thrown the team play out the window. They just want to fight at this point and see what happens. Because they're all good players, it's clear. There's some cookery going on with the builds, but aside from that, things have been normal. 30 minutes now, and Fire Giant's getting pulled by the ZebraCakes, but I don't expect them to take it because nobody's taken a Fire Giant so far this game. KJtheGreat gets pulled back by Strat and blink forward from Crisp. They get knocked up on the blink. Now Swiss Rolls is in the pit. Cavalry Charge looking for Blizzard. Tear the Veil in response, but the knockoff from the Typhoon has caught out ZebraCakes. And what did I tell you? The Fire Giant's been dropped and the fight continues by the XP camp. Follows his way back to the Fire Giant pit. And the only victim so far is Strat. Swiss Rolls keep Zebra from taking the fire.
One more Fire Giant pulled, one more Fire Giant dropped. But ZebraCakes did have one of their members dropped as well, so Swiss Rolls not feeling too bad after that engagement.
What do you want to talk about?
Okay, so for like 2 minutes, that entire fight, I was crying and laughing and sweating profusely, just thinking, Strat, 20% HP, running away from 4 members of Swiss Rolls. So undaunted, he turns around, sunders 3 of them, and just walks away.
Just talks to
sacrificing Crisp.
SIRvente gonna be the one to fall to Blizzard. We got the point out. That's what matters. Through space and time was used as well. Did not find a home. Blizzard went through the portal. Now in trouble. Cavalry Charge gonna continue looking for the Clea. Can she get away from it? It didn't proc the Magi's, but don't need Magi's if you're dead. aritti finds that one, looking for another on Huntor, but has to back away. Will be safe as well. Crisp will take on the world yet again. This time Strat isn't quite there. aritti looking for Huntor. Jetstream through. Magi still up. That's important for this. But Reyhum stops aritti in their tracks. Another kill for the Tiamat. By the end of this game, I think everyone's going to have 45 kills. Strat jumps onto KJtheGreat, and Crisp and Strat will see what they can do to whittle down the health bar of the Guan Yu for sure. Oh, Strat's calling a retreat? That's spicy.
Do we know it was Strat that called it? He's full HP. I'm not convinced he was the one that called that.
It was divine intervention.
Strat is quite literally the man. At 20% HP, getting chased by 4 will do nothing but turn around, sunder 3 of them, and just walk away. Literally just walks up, runs at you, refuses to elaborate anything, and leaves.
Fire Giant has people around it. I don't expect that to be done in the near future. Strat will look for an opening and find Venti, who uses the beads. Let's go, SIRvente. Swiss Roll's gonna back away with their Geb safe.
And alive. Only half HP, so he's got a back. But Strat not looking to let that happen, jumping in, along with Crisp getting active on the backline as the rest of Zebracakes show up to the fight.
I love Crisp and Strat. They remind me of the main characters from the Men in Black series. Just not afraid to jump in and go crazy. Who's Will Smith? I'm saying Strat.
I'm saying Strat too. I agree. 100%.
I'm glad we're on the same page with that. Fire Giant getting pulled. 20,000 health currently. I don't expect it to drop below 15 before we fight, and that's going to be the case. Tusky comes out from Huntor. They're going to look for, but Aritti's in the back line with a blink forward and a Typhoon to follow. Knocks up 2. Blizzard walked in, took damage as well, and KJtheGreat finds Hunter. Reyhum gets a return, but Yeet dropped Blizzard. So now the Klee is gone, and that damage goes with it. Crisp still fighting while low, and it turns into a double kill for Reyhum. Strat's going to fight Venti until they turn blue in the face. The rollout comes out, but that's not going to stop Strat. Strat's going to run for it. Deelo's here. Strat's the enemy protagonist, and he helps Reyhum find a triple kill. Could be even more than that if they find Asano, but they don't find him in time. Zebracakes now with 23 kills to Swiss Rolls 33. 34 minutes in. I'm not going to talk about gold anymore. I'm taking prop bets on Fire Giant. F-Dot said don't talk about betting on stream, but like we're taking a prop bet in Fire Giant. I'm saying no sooner than 40 minutes.
I think the better thing to place a bet on would be how low the HP gets. What's the minimum HP Fire Giant is going to get this game?
Okay, that's
We saw it
spicy.
hit, I think, almost 17,000 during that last fight, and then it was
Yeah, because
dropped
it got
for
to
the fight.
half, and I was like, they're not doing it. I was confident. I'm saying no lower than 8K. Because I think at 8K, someone's going to panic and just fight again. Or everybody dies. Ooh, we could see a double deicide with Fire at 8K. I wouldn't be too surprised.
Or we just see a Fire Giant pentakill. That would be absolutely
If we get a Fire Giant
insane.
pentakill, my conniption's turning into a full-on mental breakdown, and I'm going to need somebody to section me.
Well, I mean, there is a Geb in this game, so he could see the pentakill stolen yet again.
Will you be my straitjacket, Jeer? Me and who?
I will. I will absolutely.
Crisp will run into 4 members of Swiss Rolls, but the Zebracakes are here. And Crisp is getting dropped. They might finally kill Crisp to start a fight, but he gets away. Through space and time already been used, and Pluto is dealing with Blizzard in the back and can't get away. A kill on the Giannis. Crisp drops 2, and Swiss Rolls is making money moves. The momentum is showing up. Aritti's in the back line, but is dropping low, gets a 2-person knock up, and finds a double kill on a Huntor. They're gonna look for more. Reyhum could be next, and KJtheGreat finds it. Aritti gonna look for Strat, but Venti's gonna die. Beads was already down. Yeet finds Strat, and oh my god! Almost a deicide. I can't believe it, but there's no way they're going for Fire. They can only go for the Clea. She's gonna drop as well. It's a deicide! They did it! 5 people died! Nobody's gonna get Fire, though. I'm broken.
No, they have to back off. They were too low HP. They're not going to take Fire. They're just going to take their win. They're going to leave. They're going to take the money and run. They're just taking the little W that they got. We're still 10 seconds left until Crisp is back up. And then another minute until he's able to get back to Fire Giant. The Fire Giant is being pulled. 3 members are here. They're on the Fire Giant, already dropping below 20,000 HP.
Crisp is gonna teleport, isn't he?
He's in hot pursuit. He's here. Fire Giant is at half. It's
Oh
at
my
10,000.
God! There's no
He's
way.
coming in.
Crisp is in the pit. It's at 5K health. He gets the knockup. He's not dead yet. It's at 4K. It might drop. He drops. Swiss Rolls gets the Fire Giant. It's a miracle. 37 minutes and the Fire Giant's dead. 25-39. Zebracakes versus Swiss Rolls, and a gold lead to speak about. This is asinine.
The timeline has been altered. Swiss rolls. They killed Crisp at the start of the fight. They took the Fire Giant. They have a 5,000 gold lead. Swiss are on the roll. It is time.
They got a pyro too. They have bombs. That's 2 bombs.
They're both on the mid laner.
they can make plays. I say portal in, drop the 2 bombs, and drop the tier 1 tower just for the fun. Use them both here. Will they use one? No way.
That's literally just what Strat does. Ragnarok in, Sunder, leave.
Oh, I'm gonna have to wait. They go crazy for Huntor, uses Tusky, and aritti chases Huntor down and finds the kill into the Artemis. Now goes back towards the group. SIRvente's got beads, buddy. No Ragnarok for you, Strat. Now Strat gets body blocked, and Yeet gets on the killing spree. Zebra Cakes might finally be pushed too far. I don't know how much they can hold against this. Mid Phoenix drops. Still, 2 tier 2 towers up. So keep your eye on the Titan if they get that far, but will they get that far? The health bars might be too low. Crisp getting chased out by aritti. The Gep shield for good measure, but Crisp is still alive, but he's dead. He's dead. Rampage for aritti, who turns back, but the Titan helps out Blizzard. It's a double kill, and they can't siege.
They're too low HP, and they're going to have to get out. D-Lizard almost full HP on the chase now. With those cooldowns available, you got to be careful. But it looks like they're going to be able to walk away this time without losing their lives. Fire Giant
Swiss Rolls had a chance.
left on 2.
They had a chance. I mean, that was genuinely a tough spot to take. Zebra Cakes had a good defense. I kind of wish the call had just been to not siege then, because I mean, you still had the 2 tier 2 towers up. So even if they had gotten to the Titan, I don't know if they kill it there.
It would have to be another deicide before they could pull that off. That Titan is still going to be pretty tanky.
How was your day?
I just realized the Artemis has redstone.
I like the build. I've seen Huntor doing some numbers in some of these fights. Say what you want. That Tusky's chunking. Ooh, Yeet switching to crit. That's a late turn of events. I like it.
I'm seeing redstone on an Artemis, and I don't know if I can be your straitjacket anymore.
Primal Fury.
Remember,
Gonna go to Swiss Rolls. So just how about next fight? You watch Relics, and I'll handle the team fight, and that should help both of us. I want a full report on Relics after the next team fight.
My eyes are
you know it's gonna
drawn
be
to
crazy.
it. I can't look away.
They're all gonna be up for this next fight, and I expect either all of them to be used or like not even half. They're all too focused on fighting.
Geb has bead, Strat has Sunder. Keep that in mind.
Swiss Rolls will begin the siege, and Strat will jump in and use the Ragnarok, instantly stopped. Now Strat down to half health and in trouble, but Tusky comes out, and oh my god, Swiss Rolls are getting blown up completely, and Zebra Cakes is going to go in the aggro, and Huntor found one. Crisp got KJtheGreat. Who's going to be next? It's going to be Crisp, and Yeet found it, but Yeet dropped to Reyhum, and they're going to keep going, and they're going to find Pluto. Double kill for the Brooch Boy Huntor, and Swiss Rolls, once again, has been stopped from ending the game.
Once again, the Geb did use beads on that Ragnarok early enough to be able to start doing something, but unfortunately the CC lockdown coming out from the Tusky was just a little bit too much. Swiss Rolls were not able to respond in time. They got caught out in Zebra Cake's team fight in the late game, coming out to shine.
Look at aritti. We're about to see a play.
This is some sneaky business. Looking to get a pick, but not willing to go in.
Yeah, gonna have to
danger.
back and defend. You can see the pings coming out, confirming what's next. It's gonna be that mid Phoenix. Gonna try to trade Phoenix for Phoenix. Zebra Cakes could be in trouble. Swiss Rolls could put up a good defense here, but Zebra Cakes gonna get aggressive, and Strat gonna go in. Who could have expected that? Mid Phoenix, the new target, and aritti gonna get dropped. Huntor gets the credit, finding a killing spree out of it. SIRvente's coming in real hot, gonna look for a play. Cataclysm comes out and find anybody, but KJtheGreat was right behind a Cataclysm on the horse, but didn't find a stun with it, but could find Reyhum. We did see the Lizard have to go to the side and reset, and Zebra Cakes is getting pushed back. Swiss Rolls didn't even lose the Phoenix. This game is reset somehow.
And it's right back to square one. ZebraCake's on the run. SwissRolls getting very aggressive, trying to find a kill, but not quite able to secure it. Still getting active though, but not quite able to secure the kills.
Blizzard could be caught out. KJtheGreat gonna go aggressive, but doesn't have the cavalry charge up quite yet. Blizzard gonna try to get into the wall, was not in threshold yet, gets away safely. SwissRolls still grouped up and pushing up. Looks like they're gonna back up and go for a Pyromancer and get another bomb. Oh, no, JK. Never mind. Wait, we out here.
Go ahead and reset.
Which of the snacks do you... I don't think I've had a zebra cake recently. I've had a Swiss roll recently. I think I had a zebra cake when I was a kid.
Zebra cakes are really good, but they just dry out your throat a little bit. If not for that, they would probably be one of the best snacks out there.
I don't like that. I want a candy to make me feel, like, rejuvenated after. That's what I want.
Want something to give you energy?
Well, not like an energy bar. I just want the candy to wake me up. Want to, you know.
So like a war.
I can't feel things from life. I gotta feel things from candy.
That's why we play Smite.
Yeah. We died a long time ago. We're just husks.
Just empty shells.
SwissRolls backing up. Not going to contest the fire that's going to get pulled yet. We'll look to see when they make their intro. They've got it through space and time if they want to get crazy. They've got every relic -1 up. Better than Zebra Cakes, but Zebra Cakes is stepping up to go aggro on the defense. The Fire Giant. They're actually going to let the Fire Giant go and take the fight because the health bars have dropped so low. That's 2 down already and a double kill for Delizard. They're going to push it even further, and Strat finds Yeet. Through space and time did numbers, but the numbers weren't enough to stop the fight fully. Pluto going to hang out at the tier 2 tower and look for any stragglers, but maybe a straggler themselves. Blizzard gets aggressive and Reyhum for the cleanup, but no. Rampage 4. Blizzard goodbye to Pluto. 1 member left for SwissRolls, and it's aritti, but aritti wants to fight and finds Reyhum pretty easily at that. So maybe there's an EFG here, but it's not going to be on Reyhum. I don't think they're even going to do EFG because everybody's spread around the map. I guess they want the Phoenix?
They got 25 seconds on SIRvente, so it looks like they're just going to take the opportunity, get there while they can, try and get something out of it to give them a little bit more space. Having those fire minions in the mid lane does open up a little bit of space.
aritti going to take the 1v3, gets out safely. Phoenix still at half. Phoenix will finally drop it. There's one thing that Huntor certainly does. It's good timed ultimates and a lot of Phoenix damage with that build. That Phoenix got obliterated. So I do, and that was without EFG. If that was EFG, it would have been maybe 2 or 3 hits. And it would have been gone. Zebra Cake's going to look to regroup and wait for Reyhum because they've waited so long. While they get Pyro, taking Fire Giant now would cause a uneven fight. Strat actually could be caught out, but aritti not going to chase fully. Blizzard hanging out behind them and dropping really low. Gonna have to play this safe to get away, but a blink forward from SIRvente, and they're gonna follow up. Aritti's gonna get the chase. Magi's is still up if Blizzard needs it. KJtheGreat gonna go towards Huntor, turn to Strat. Strat has Ragnarok. Look at the big bubble. Tusky used as well, and Pluto gets the kill on the Crisp, and SwissRolls is making something out of nothing. Blizzard's forced to back, and Zebra Cakes is not in a great spot to reinitiate this fight, but I'm sure Strat will. That's Strat's specialty on this Fenrir. There it is! There's the blink and the jump, but turns around instantly. Saves the Brutalize, just in case. SwissRolls gonna back up. Normally when Strat goes in, say what you want, it does turn into bloodshed.
Normally it does, but this time it looks like Oni Fury is going to be the one catching the smokes. SwissRolls is actually just backing off, not willing to take more damage here.
Oh boy, what's next? I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Probably not a Fire Giant.
Does the game end with more than 1 Fire Giant taken? I think it gets to 2 maximum.
That's putting a lot on the Fire Giant. Maybe that's the bet we should have taken. Do they get 2 Fire Giants in this game? because we're almost at 47.5 minutes here. We have Oni fire minions in the mid, Oni regular Oni minions on each side of the map. This is the time ZebraCakes could be using to push this and force the fight. Already in the backline, trying to sneak around.
Venti in a lot of trouble. Ragnarok going to work that time, and Rollout not going to get Geb away. But Aritti was in the back line, and Ariitti's doing work, but the Petrify helps too. Huntor gone to Yeet, but Reyhum is turning things around. Double kill for Blizzard, and they're going to look for KJtheGreat. They're going to go aggressive onto the Guan Yu. They're going to chase the Guan Yu as far as they can handle, and Crisp drops him. One left for Swiss Rolls. EFG might not be needed if they kill everybody here. Strat will chase you to a different game mode, Pluto. Just keep going. Don't turn around. ZebraCakes make it 41-47. 48 minutes in the game, and they could actually go to EFG here. They don't have Huntor, but they do have Reyhum and Blizzard.
They do have a bit of damage. Reyhum's coming in just a moment. Right now, the solo and jungler are there. Meanwhile, Strat diving the Titan room into a fountain to keep Pluto away from the fire giant. Doesn't have through space and time up just yet, but it's a very short cooldown before it's there.
And they're killing it slow. Through space and time used, but it was used very early, and it was a little off the mark anyway. Fire Giant down to 9k health. Pluto's trying to get there, but gonna get caught by Strat again. Strat's still jumping. Ragnarok used the tier 2 looking for Pluto, but it's no good. Fire Minion's gonna walk at the Chaos Titan. EFG will fall! That's 2! Double on the Fire Giants! Only took 49 minutes! That's the most exciting thing that's happened in 10 minutes to me. The fact 2 EFGs have dropped, and we're 1 for 1 on them? Oh, man.
This time, it's a big EFG. This is really late in the game. People are going to be getting really close to those 3k power pots. Boards across the boards. You got to be very careful, because right now, you get caught out at the wrong position just once. That'll be wraps.
I sound like a helicopter when I do that.
Oh,
yeah,
there it is. I said it earlier, Strat would probably go for a Glad Shield. I read his mind.
50 minutes in.
I knew
it's all clicking.
We knew it was coming. It was only a matter of time.
All right. If you're all tabbed, it's 50 minutes, 41-47. ZebraCakes knocking on the door of the Phoenix. The mid Phoenix not looking too great. Swiss rolls on the defense with 47 kills to their name. This fight could easily go either way. I'm looking for ZebraCakes to go crazy. This is the moment. You've got EFG, you've got health bars, everybody's together. You've done the same thing all game. Let Strat and Crisp go in, follow them up, and kill everybody. Strat goes in and turns it back. Swiss rolls still have time.
Trying to make something happen, but Swiss Rolls have just enough of a defense to keep the Cakes away. Mid Phoenix is back up. No fire minions, but ZebraCakes not willing to drop the aggression too much.
This is a really important 1v1 between Aritti and Blizzard, but Strat doesn't want to respect the 1v1 with the jump in. Look at the health bar. Swiss rolls dropping low. Strat going to find the most important kill of the game so far. Goes to Strat, who's been aggressive the whole game. And now ZebraCakes going to group up on the mid Phoenix and look to push it even further. Swiss rolls, healed up, but still on death's door. Tear the Veil is tearing them apart, and Strat jumps in again. KJ could be caught out, but Crisp is dropping low, and KJ's going aggressive forward, but KJ runs into Blizzard, and KJ's gone. ZebraCakes making it happen, and still standing aggressive. We've seen it time and time again that Strat will dive into the fountain, and Strat's gonna do just that, and look for Pluto, almost goes in to the fountain, but where's the rest of ZebraCakes? Strat cannot end the game alone. Zebra back at the Phoenix regrouping, looking for the next push in. Crisp trying to make it happen. Crisp gonna step up to the Titan. ZebraCakes can just kill it. They're gonna finally go in, and they're gonna look for the Titan. SIRvente's gone, and the Titan's at half health. ZebraCakes gonna stand up, and Pluto found the kill on the Crisp. Pluto trying to survive. Yeet doing the same. Titan at 10. The Titan's gonna fall. We did it. 44-49, and the shackles have been freed. Game 1 goes to ZebraCakes. Hi, son.
Hello. I was muted
I was gonna
still.
say voices in my head.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
found
I
them.
think you desperately need to catch your breath after that one.
I'm
What
just
an
gonna sit back.
what an incredible back and forth between both of those teams. That was absolutely insane performance from both sides. A lot of things happening. A lot of things happening in both those fights that just, I mean, just did not allow them to do anything after the team fight. It was either, your ADC died, so now you can't do the objective, or
Right.
everybody's too low on HP, so you have to reset anyways. Or, I mean, it was just so much that was happening that was just so unfortunate for both these teams because they were just so close every single team fight. One swing or another, every single one. It was such a back and forth game.
I don't
Absolutely
think
crazy.
it's crazy or arrogant to say that at a certain point, both of those teams genuinely took the strategy and just threw it out the window.
Yeah. Honestly, at
They
some
started to have fun.
I think during there was like at least two team fights that I saw. I don't think either team were commenting. They were they were just
They were just
running
pressing
it
W.
down at each other, and yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if it looked like that at one point. And
Yeah,
to stay a
yeah,
little
for
bit
real.
sane. So
Yeah, I will say, zoom out, look for the actual stuff. There was a lot of impressive things that we saw, and there were a lot of things that if I'm a captain, that if you can take away the craziness and just admit to yourself, like, the strategy went out the window, this game was wild, and that's okay. There's a lot of good things to look at. A big standout for me to start, obviously, was Crisp and Strat in the way that they were able to get into the backline and cause havoc.
yeah, I mean, there was just so much disconnect between the back line and the front line of both of these teams in these team fights. And I think that goes into just, again, what you were just saying, how Strat and Crisp just got back there. And there was just not a whole lot that Swiss Rolls could do when both of those are front line are just W keying your Janus or W keying Yeet on the Medusa. There's
Mhm.
just not a lot that, I mean, one singular Geb can do to peel those. Because meanwhile, on the opposite side, we had KJtheGreat and we had a Susano diving the backline, and those ultimates on
Which
the
was
backline.
amazing.
Every single ultimate on the backline connected with 3 is what it seems like on that
Yeah.
Susano, and it was just insane from both teams dive.
And we were definitely harping on the build of Huntor a lot, but say what you want, Huntor did dish out numbers. I mean, and it's especially same for Yeet, 15-9 with 63k. Everybody showed up and everyone was on point. The mid laners were interesting too, but that was just game one, and I need a moment to recuperate myself. So we'll be right back in the Smite Draft League with game number 2 between Zebra Cakes and Swiss Rolls. Somebody, I don't know. We'll be back.
That's the one.
Roll another of your cigarettes out. Fuck, I always feel so burned out. I never smoked before I met you. Now I chain smoke the way I like to kiss you. Cause I know you're with them while I'm here staring.
Hello, we're back. It's my draft league. It's game number 2 between Zebra Cakes and Swiss Rolls, the two most chaotic teams I have seen in a long time. Once again, I'm AnthonyMalum. I'm joined by Suun on the desk, and in game we'll have Deelo and Suun. And I don't really know what from game 1 you take. Normally, there's somebody who was too comfortable in something, so you ban that, or maybe you could start to shift your meta bans because something was a little bit stronger. But from that game, it was just so chaotic. I don't really know what you focus on.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that we kind of talked about on the desk right before the break was, I mean, a lot of these team fights, when they ended, these teams just had no way of doing the objectives. Even if they won the team fight, they couldn't do anything afterwards.
That
So
I
wouldn't
noticed.
so I wouldn't. I'm sure you did. But so one thing I wouldn't be too surprised to see is if we elect to see a double ADC comp, maybe from the mid lanes. We'll be looking to see some double AA action, or maybe like a Merlin pick, something that can help shred these objectives. Will definitely be something that I could see one of these two teams electing by the bare minimum. I would
Okay,
hope.
I like that. Yeah, I can get behind that idea for sure. I man, there's so much. I feel like there was a lot that went down in that game. We actually do see a target ban. Sasano going to be taken off the board. Nobody wants Aritti to have that again, and I don't blame them.
Yeah, I mean, like once again, him using those typhoons and hitting 3 people with them every single team fight, that's not really something you want to see him be doing again, especially
No.
with one game under the
Hey, one
belt.
right back.
And yeah, looks like we've got a little bit of respect from both these teams coming out. So Reyhum looked phenomenal on the Tiamat in that game. He was in lane against a Janus and was out leveling a Janus in the early game, which is not something a lot of mids can say that they do on a regular basis. So
Yeah, and Giannis got an early kill, and yet Reyhum was still out leveling, which
still out
was
leveling.
something I
Yeah.
noticed that was oddly impressive.
Yeah, so looked phenomenal on the Tiamat in game one. Definitely a comfort pick for sure. And so to take that off the board alongside, the strong Cirquet coming from the other side and Robin, who's been on a tear recently thanks to the changes in this most recent patch. So not too surprising for a lot of these bands. 2 respect bands. I was kind of expecting something like that from a 50-minute slapper. So
Yeah, there had to be something that changes. You can't just run everything back, or the same thing's gonna happen again. I do like the Thor and the Marty, just keeping those away. I feel like that's necessary. Same thing with the Robin, honestly, like you mentioned. I am wondering what we will see that wasn't banned that won't be run back, like what they deem not worth it. Because I think the big one that sticks in my mind, as well as it did, and we did harp on the build quite a bit, was the Artemis. But Kali gonna be the first one locked in. That was one that we both talked about in the picks and bans of game one, and how badly we wished it could have gotten through.
yeah, I mean, this destruction on Kali is just a little bit too much. The Lash can have a lot of early game tick damage on people. I mean, you've got Nimble Strike that can heal her when she leaps on top of people. And not to mention, she's got a stun that just gives her power when she uses it. I mean, a very, very strong pick in the current meta. And so definitely glad to see that these teams are looking at that. And especially since it didn't make its way through game one, first pick in game two, not too surprising.
We talked about what was played and not banned that might not be run back, and the first thing so far was the Geb, and it's going to be replaced with the Kumbhakarna. And the Rama locked in, which was banned by Zebra Cakes in game one. With it being locked in over a Hachiman, I'm starting to wonder if that may have been a target ban.
I mean, Rom has a decent matchup into the Kali because when you think about a Kali, if she gets in there or gets
Good
collapsed on
point.
early, she uses that destruction to disengage to get herself out of those team fights. And just to see a Rom locked in on the opposite side immediately after that Kali pick, to me, that just screams, oh, I'm just going to snipe you. You think you're getting out with that destruction? You think you're going to live with 1 HP and get out of the team fight? You're not. I'm going to take you out.
I love what I'm seeing. The Kuzenbo with the Kali. That is one of my personal favorite combinations of, like, I'm playing a casual slash game with my friends, and we're like, let's play some fun stuff, and somebody locks in a Kuzenbo, and I lock in something like a Kali, and they just spin around in circles while I hold left click, and I'm so excited to see that in game.
Yeah, don't look at my history when it comes to Kuzabos and Kalis and Slash. I definitely see, I'm definitely picking up what you're putting down with those 2 picks. I mean, just being able to sumo slam somebody and hold them in a wall while Kali's just sitting there AAing them is just
Yeah.
absurd. And Morgan Le Fay coming out in the mid lane for the boys over on Swiss Roll for Pluto. He looked really good with those Janus snipes in game one, had some really, really great snipes coming out. And looking to maybe repeat a little bit of some magic with some long ranged artillery, but I mean, with a little bit more self peel for sure, especially for how much he was getting dove that game.
I like the tier ban here. I was looking at team comps, and I'm not really one for predicting team comps. It's never been my strongest suit. I'm better at it when they're people I recognize, but with players I don't recognize, I tend to find myself getting lost in the sauce. But the tier is something that I really like getting banned away. It would have been a little too fluid with the zebra cakes, excuse me, the Swiss rolls composition.
Yeah, I mean, just especially with the changes to him, where he just leaps in and just stuns an entire field worth of people that he lands
Yeah,
on. I mean, with
yeah.
that change alongside a Kumba that can easily just set up for something like that to just extend the CC even longer. instead electing for an Odin, which is not something that we see too often, but in my opinion is a very strong solo laner right now. And so it'll be interesting to see the solo lane matchup, how it will transpire as the game progresses.
It's going to be an interesting one to watch, especially when you look at the kind of micro dynamics of it, because say what you want about crazy that game got. We saw a lot of true nitty-gritty solo lane play throughout it. And the way Achilles plays into Odin, I could see that kind of being the kill lane. Hachibama is banned, so what does that turn into for our friend Huntor, the Hunter? That turns into On Her, the Hunter.
Definitely not too surprising to see two gods that can find their way out of an Odin cage immediately after the Odin gets locked in.
Yep.
So, but and Anher was definitely not the one that I was expecting, to say the least. So we'll interested to see how Hunter will look to use this lane with a Kuzenbo. That early pressure between the two of those can be kind of scary if you really think about it. So it'll be very interesting to see how that dual lane will look. And looks like we've got ourselves a hover for our last pick on a Nemesis
Lock
for
it in.
for Swiss rolls. You a fan of this?
I've got a weird relationship with Nemesis. I've been casting enough games in the last year to where every time a Nemesis is locked in, it's a wild game one way or another. And with how wild game one was, I really wanted to get locked in for that exact reason.
You just want to keep the streak going.
May as well. We're already like 6 feet deep. You know, why not go to 12? And it's gonna get locked in.
And there it is.
Oh,
Absolutely.
let's go.
So,
You and Deelo are gonna have a blast. I know it.
oh, well, it'll be interesting to see, especially because, I mean, Nemesis will just be able to shred the protections on the two people that are going to be diving really hard. For sure, the Kali, but, I mean, the Kuzenbo on the front line, in my opinion, if Kuzenbo ever uses his ultimate, if he ever uses Watery Grave, you just hit him with that Nemesis ultimate. There's just not a whole lot he can do after that. He will just get absolutely shredded. Even with his 2 being able to reflect some of that damage back to you, it just won't be enough. So, and then once again, the Achilles diving with a Morgan Le Fay lockdown and a Rom casting on you, if you get Nemesis ulted on as an Achilles, it does not matter. You are dying. So
I am expecting so much damage out of Zebra Cakes, and then you think that's the peak, and then you look at Swiss rolls, and it's like, oh man, we're getting a run back, aren't we?
yeah, I'm definitely projecting another back and forth bout between these two teams, especially with how these comps are looking. So, I mean, the counter engage for Swiss rolls is really solid, but the original engage for Zebra Cakes is also very solid. So, be very interesting to see exactly how these games will look to be here as we get in the game.
Get in there. And son, I wish you luck. I hope no 50 minutes. You and Deelo, go crazy. Let's head into game number 2.
Welcome back, everyone, to the SDL Scouting Grounds Immortal Division. Zebra Cakes versus the Swiss Rolls. Game 2. I'm Deelo, joined here by Sun. Sun, how we feeling, man?
I mean, just as I was on the desk, I'm feeling pretty good about this game. There is a lot to be looking at for both of these teams, and so it'll be very interesting to see what they're going to be looking like. Strat had a lot of early pressure last game on the Fenrir, and is electing a Kuzenbo this game, and to me, Kuzenbo is also a very aggressive support. He does not offer a whole lot of peel in the early game until he gets that Watery Grave online. But, I mean, him being able to sumo slam you into an obelisk and you just get held in place while the minions are beating on you and there's Anher auto-attacking you can be quite a lot. But it looks like there's a bit of a fight going on over here in the solo. He should be fine. There should
Quite
be
a lot of damage, speaking of, but that's just going to be the pressure that Achilles can bring, especially when piloted by Crisp. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Strat was taking it to the back line, taking it to the fountain, taking it wherever they so pleased. And you do have to note, though, on the Kuzenbo, you have a bit less mobility than you do when you have the Brutalized and the Unchained. So you have to make sure that you're placing those abilities properly and your positioning is on point. Speaking of the Lizard, you might be in a bit of trouble if you don't get positioned back underneath that tower. A lot of near misses here across the lanes.
Yeah, very interesting back and forth between this mid lane pressure for sure. I mean, a Merlin Kali on one side, typically Kali is somebody that, you know, you just want to farm and get to late game. Whereas a Nemesis, on the other hand, once she gets that ultimate online, she loves to brawl it out. And especially into somebody, once again, who is a late game jungler, you can really put that pressure on even before your ultimate, as we just saw on Zebra Cakes with Delizard having to hit that recall button awfully early in this game.
It must be noted, though, that we talked about, as we see a bit more action here in the dual lane, we talked about the contribution, you did multiple times on the desk, of the Susano with aritti. But now we have a bit more of a single target god, especially when it comes to the ultimate Divine Judgment. So when it comes to the differentials and how you have to play that, what kind of... Oh, hold on a second. I have to wait because we're seeing some play here from aritti blinking in. Dragonflight going to do some decent damage there to the Lizard, but Tier 2 tower waiting for you. It's your best friend, buddy. He says, I call safe. We're playing tag right now. But returning back to it, so what do we need to see different from aritti here when it comes to the Susano and those 3-man Typhoons, but now you're more of a single target god?
I mean, attack prioritization is something that's definitely going to have to be taken into consideration for aritti this game. I mean, with the Susano, you know, you can very easily, you know, blink into the back line, pull one person or potentially 2 people if both the backliners are stacking up on each other, and then just full kit right then and there and hit both of them with your entire kit and just absolutely annihilate them. But with a Nemesis, you have to play it a little bit more careful. You can't necessarily just blink into 2 people and just look to try and burst them both down. You have to prioritize which one is your actual target that you're looking at. It looks like a bit of an invade coming out, but with Crisps coming over with these solo lane pressure that he's alleviated on top of KJ, seems like a pretty solid invade to start off the game.
Very nice work. Just Zebra Cakes going to try to establish dominance. You said how much of a farm god Kali is, and they're trying to oblige for sure. KJ just locked underneath that tower for now, at the very least. Hopefully, when it comes to those rotations and the Odin cage, that is where Odin's value will, of course, be most felt. But right now, ooh, you are within the range, and Crisp is lurking. This is scary. Blood in the water, blood underneath the tower. But right now, Crisp is electing to remain passive.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth this early. With that little bit of mana, you won't be able to get a dash off and your ultimate off at the same time. So even if you decide to dash him under tower right there and get the kill, you might be dying on the opposite side from the early game tower damage. So and it looks like
you might be dying anyway. They're locked as a hell in a cell. Chaos Tower takes the kill in return, but not who you wanted to see it on. KJ, I mean, you feel good, I guess, that you got the return, but it's really a consolation prize because there's no credit to be had for that. Zebra Cakes going to get first blood.
I'm not too sure why Crisp elected to stand there at the tower line, bully out the pressure in the lane, and then when Odin gets his ultimate, Odin was level 4 under that tower for so long while he's sitting on the tower, but when Odin cage comes up, then you elect to go under tower and look for the
I'm going to give
kill?
you a chance. I'll give you one chance, buddy. But he didn't even take it.
I'm not too sure I like that play myself, but maybe, you know, maybe the opportunity presented itself and he decided to take it to just, you know, show who's boss in the lane. And I mean, with Achilles, with an early game kill like that, you can start to snowball that, especially into an Odin.
I mean, that for real is like an intimidator bonus because you could have just gotten one basic off onto the Achilles and that would have been a kill for you as KJ. So unfortunately, maybe just a bit too much panic thinking that you could have your cake and eat it too. But unfortunately, the only thing that's being eaten up here are the Swiss rolls. We do see the beads being expended. And a cap of the rotation here from Strat.
Yeah, speaking of eating up, between Swiss rolls and Zebra Cakes, which ones do you prefer?
Okay, we all know this. Zebra Cakes are absolutely the best. Desert Fury going to be put here onto... They have aggression here because they recognize they have a lot of team pride here on the Zebra Cakes. They're not trying to let this one go. They're really looking to make sure that they have a good representative for the best Little Debbie snack. Unopposed, for sure it's Zebra Cakes. Come on, guys, let's pull forward, make this an easy 2-game sweep. Aggression here in the solo lane is just completely in the way of Zebra Cakes because the Lizard has just been over here every single time that blue buff comes up.
I mean, there's not a whole lot that KJ could do on the Odin. I mean, he's just been out-pressured this entire time under the tower, but actually it looks like we're getting a little bit of activity over here on the red buff.
Pushed back within the pit, and you got nowhere to go, my friend, but the fountain. The Lizard gonna find the kill on a Pluto, and at this point, SIRvente just gonna have to watch as this goes down. I mean, you have the rotation from the Odin, but hasn't been looking the hottest, and now we get the rotation from the more impactful solo laner at this point. looking like just gonna be dashing back and forth unopposed. Solid poke, and ZebraCake's gonna walk away with their second kill.
And this is not too surprising to see. Once again, Strat last game on the Fenrir was just looking to dive as much as possible and just, I mean, look to just do as much as he can in the early game on that pick. And Kuzenbo, like I was saying earlier, Kuzenbo and Fenrir's playstyles are very similar in the early game, so it's not too surprising to see him looking for those red buff invades and looking for some kills. Speaking of kills, Hunters
might not be finding one here quite yet. They're not looking to really just get too nitty-gritty with the boxing. It's unfortunate. You mentioned earlier the fact that aritti, off the Nemesis, you hit level 5. You want to be seeing those ultimates off cooldown. Haven't really seen anyone caught lacking, though, other than the Swift roll. ZebraCake's movement in the jungle seems really unparalleled.
Yeah, they definitely seem to have had the mid pressure for sure, which has allowed them to look for those back camps and look for those blue buff invades rotating in for Delizard on the Kali this game. And so very interested to see, but looks like they're getting a little bit of some red buffs over there on the left, some mid buffs over there on the left-hand side. Meanwhile, Strat's over here just getting collapsed on, actually.
A bit too much, but Watery Grave can deny you the slow, so you're cleansed, and that's going to allow you the opening for the Sumo Slam. Jukes out the root, so solid work there, but Epic Uppercut alongside the Astral Barrage, not going to be enough. Strat, you son of a gun. How are you getting away with it every single time? aritti might not be able to say the same, but a good blink is going to provide a bit more respite. Why'd you go back in? You monster, just going to feed the beast that is Delizard. Leap on out. You've done your job, my friend. 3 cakes there, or 3K. That would be a bonus, man. ZebraCake's only coming 2, but that's 3 kills there for ZebraCake.
But it looks like this team fight's not over. Pluto with a little bit of a late rotation, using the ultimate, trying to get the hits 1, 2, and unfortunately not enough on Delizard. He will be escaping with the help of that speed buff. And it looks like Huntor will be the target. Beads expelled, but a nice root coming out from the Kumba, and that's going to be a kill for Pluto.
All she wrote, put it on the board, but aggression back on the board here. It's Strat. Gonna be trying to put the strats onto this red buff, but this time aritti's read that book. I'm not trying to touch that. You guys are good. Take my farm. But that's really, really rough. ZebraCakes are making this jungle their own.
You know, as I like to say whenever I'm ahead, it's just my second camp. You know, it's my second
There it
red
is.
buff.
I
It's
like
my,
that.
You know, it's my second blue buff. You know, and my second purple buff. It's just my second camp. You know, it's mine. There's nothing you can do about it. If you show up, I'm just gonna kill you, and that's exactly what ZebraCakes are looking to do.
It's like that friend who comes over to your house and like eats all your snacks and like feels way too comfortable like in your own house. It's like, oh, these are our chips. It's like, no, they're mine, but Swiss Roll is gonna have to unfortunately hold their tongue for the moment. Strat under a bit of pressure, but too tanky. What can they really do against this just fat turtle? Man will not die.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like ZebraCakes are the ones that are trying to get active right now.
I mean, yeah, no matter what, even when they're caught like on the wrong side of town, they're still bringing the aggression, which is what you like to see. So I guess the question is then, what is the overarching fight strategy we want to see from Swiss Rolls? Do we just, at this point, play conservatively, wait for the big man rotations when it comes to the late stages of the team fight game? Or do we try to go guerrilla? Maybe just get small picks off in the jungle?
I mean, one thing that you have got to see, well, hold that thought. Nene's diving in right here. Yeet's trying to get active on Huntor. Both, I mean, Hunter's ultimate expelled, so no Desert's Fury on the table, but, and all of that just for a rollout on the side of Yeet. But
they thought that a bit more would come of it, but the Lizard might oblige you. But there's a big rotation as well from the Swiss Rolls, support and jungle here. And I think they recognize that the Lizard going to safely retreat on back to your side of the jungle, for once recognizing the boundaries that are the Order side.
I think that was a little bit of a bluff that Yeet was throwing out right there, and a little bit of a contention and a steal over here on the purple buff.
Nice.
A nice disengaged, big mez coming out. Not a whole lot you could do. Strat's gonna look to chase this down, but his teammates are spreading away. They've made the call to walk away. So
Might try to step up at this point, but the root will deny that as an option. Gonna have the sigil dropped on your head. Strat feeling comfortable. This is where Strat just feels the best amongst your enemy team. Just likes to hang out over there, so I respect that. Astral Barrage being taken because Hunter's dropped quite low in the meantime, and aritti gonna be able to finish that kill off. Strat trying to bring them down to their watery grave, but you just saw your carry do that, buddy. That means you have no help at the moment until the rotations come on in. Sumo's pull into the tower. Gonna eat one shot for that, but it's all for stall tactics, because here come the cavalry. You have the mid as well as the jungle gonna try to do some damage. Seems that Rom is indeed the target. Astral Barrage already been used. Reyhum gonna find that kill onto Yeet. Yeet back into the fountain. Get back to where you belong, buddy. 4-2 reads the scoreboard 11 minutes in.
I mean, kind of going back a little bit to what you were saying before that team fight took place, because it looks like it was just a back and forth. There was a, just an invade coming out, then they decided to walk away. Then Strat stepped up a little bit too far. They got a pick on Huntor, and then they returned the favor and got another kill on Yeet over on the Rom on the opposite side. Looks like Gold Fury is just going to be completely uncontested. Venti's not going to be able to do anything to secure this as a Kupakarna. So, but I mean, kind of going back to what you were saying on what Swiss rolls need to do, and I mean, one thing that I think they need to do is do a better job of securing their buffs, but looks like they need to secure a way out of here. Venti's getting collapsed on by 2, but
you do have that easy escape, but that was a big damage lunge, and at this point, Reyhum's a bit caught out lacking. Strat is here to support. Solid damage, and now the blinking gauge from the Nemesis is going to be looking for Reyhum. Flicker out, but dash back in. You're in a bit of trouble there. One more strike will do it. Taken out by aritti. There goes the mid. Nice Desert Fury there to bring him down into the passive. Kumakarna is going to go next. There goes SIRvente. The 1-for-1 trade. Are they just going to be suffice with this? No, we want as well. This Stygian Beacon. Only one person really contest. You might be in a bit more than you can chew, my friend. It's only going to be the Achilles to contest that, because the rest of the Zebra Cakes are having their attention on this Stygian Beacon. In the execute range is aritti, but going to be able to double dash their way out. Taking it to the front is Crisp, trying to look for a nice Crisp kill, but unfortunately didn't leave that in air fryer quite long enough. That play needs to be cooked a little bit more, but at least some solid damage, and is going to secure the beacon for Zebra Cakes. 12 minutes in, really solid lead for their name. 4K gold ahead. EXP, you have to imagine, quite the same. It's just been a steady incline. Anthony mentioned last game that it was looking like a seismograph for an earthquake, but this one is just looking like a nice and solid apple stock.
And it just seems like it's a nice hill slowly leading its way up to the very top, where hopefully they'll peak and continue it going and not fall down to the other side of the hill. But it looks like Swiss rolls really just need to do a good job of just securing their buffs and being on their timers as much as they can, because they are just getting all of their camps invaded for the most part. And I mean, a little bit of some fighting coming out from Zebra Cakes. They get a Gold Fury on the opposite side, just extending that gold lead even more. And it looks like they might be looking for a Kumba that might have just stepped up a little bit too far.
Strat's pushes off these sumo pushes have been fantastic. I'm loving the action I'm seeing from Strat, despite what we talked about, that the Fenrir definitely more mobile. You're not seeing Strat play any worse for, which I love to see when it, the God choice doesn't necessarily impact the style of play. And that must be said, 50-minute game, it's a scouting grounds. People normally don't really have that good of a beat on their teammates or of their enemies, but you kind of know what your team wants to do. You kind of know at this point how your enemy plays. It was just 50 minutes of arena we just got through, so they might have a better idea of each other than you might think.
Yeah, and especially Strat. I mean, he definitely just, all he's trying to do is just get active, and it looks like he's going to get the kill on Pluto under the tier 1 tower, thanks to Watery Grave. And he's just going to look to just box out behind the tower right now.
This guy is crazy. You're going to have to be epic uppercutted because, geez, just let me go, please. They're begging for life. Here comes the Nene Kappa. Going to be dancing on him. Yeet going to find the kill in the meantime onto Hunter, thanks to the rotation from the Nem. Nice job there by aritti. Have to imagine that was the Astral Barrage down. And Zebra Cakes weren't quite able to get as much pressure as they wanted in this mid lane. Mid-tier tower, mid-tier 1 tower, going to go down. So at the very least, you have that to your name. But the carry on your side is suffering a bit for it.
I definitely think that if I'm Swiss rolls in this case, I've got YeetOnDaNaeNae, right? We need to get him to late game, right? Hunter is already 1-3 at the start of this game. YeetOnDaNaeNae, there's a Nene Kappa on the opposite side of the map. We need to look to get him to late game so he can blow up that Kuzenbo, excuse me. And looks like in the meantime, they're going to be looking to blow up Crisp over here in the solo lane.
He wants to get back to the late game, but you can't get back to your tower if you are underneath the cage at this rate. Gonna have to try to just work away out with the Phantom Shell, but it's not quite enough. Fatal Strike, not gonna be used there quickly enough. KJ gonna pick up a kill. Feeling pretty good about that, given how that early game was spelled out for you.
I'm a little bit surprised that Tower didn't shoot one more time to take out Venti and at least make it a 1-for-1, or potentially.
Yeah, wouldn't that have been nice? Doesn't quite work that way.
So very, very close on the timing window right there. And it looks like Zebra Cakes are using this timing window of 3 members being spotted over in the right lane to take out a Primal Fury.
That's fantastic. That's such amazing map awareness. And again, I really do think it can be credited to the fact that they played so long in that first game with each other. You might have said that the comms were down for a bit, but nonetheless, they're feeling that flow. They got the psychic link going here. Rotation from SIRvente could just ward off some pressure because, like you said, man, I really do think that Zebra Cakes need to pay a bit more attention to their kitty here. I know they're solitary animals, but still, give it some love.
Yeah, I mean, Zebra Cakes are up about 7k gold right now, and look at this mid pressure that's been put on. There's a 4-level deficit for Pluto over Reyhum. He is 4 levels up right now, and he only has 1 more death than him. So there's just a crazy disconnect when it comes to the farming in the mid lane right here, thanks to all the pressure. But
they're farming this guy, though, on her. Gonna have to take to this guy's good evasion of the route through that, but Astral Barrage is here. Rotation might be a bit late. There's 1 more strike to find its mark. Not quite. He was expecting the ring around the Rosie, but gonna expect the kill back. Aritti gonna fall, and the carry's actually gonna survive. Double there for your name. Excellent job to counter that pressure. It's a slaughter here in the dual lane. Love has been had for the kitty. Lots of pets for you. Here's some kibble. Excellent job. A 3rd kill for Zebra Cakes, courtesy of the Lizard. That was a fantastic rotation.
And that team fight all stemmed from Swiss Rolls collapsing on Huntor, but he played that perfectly. He used his Aegis when he needed to just not take any damage from Astral Barrage on the side of Rom when he was up in the air. I mean, his beads were fantastic for him to walk away from the Koopa. And
hold on, I might have to interrupt you, my friend. I'm sorry. Consuming power's been expended and might be consuming Crisp from the tower right there. SIRvente gonna take credit for that. The Lizard might be in some trouble here. Gonna be using that for the slow. The Divine Judgment's been placed on you, but blinking right back to safety. The Lizard can do no wrong. Never punished.
That was kind of crazy that he got out of that. A fantastic use of the stun, not dealing any damage. He had Lash up, but he elected to not use Lash because he just got to turn around and blink away to disengage.
Very
a little bit of some interesting pressure coming out. I mean, not quite sure why you're diving level 12, who was level 12 Pluto under the tier 2 tower, but looks like they might be looking to dive a Hunter to maybe...
He was caught jumping, man. You can't be caught jumping. 8-3 basics for it, and there goes your shield. Could be in some trouble there. Desert Fury, you're only digging your own grave. Hunter gonna fall, and that's a far better gank for Swiss Rolls, but what are Zebra Cakes doing? They're back to their objective shenanigans. The moment they see the rotations, they move where the enemy isn't. Fantastic calling, but you do the Morgan Le Fay. Can they counter-secure? And Swiss Rolls will actually manage to destroy the Pyromancer. Fantastic work by the mid laner. Stygian Beacon gonna have to be your consolation prize, but that's just crumbs compared to the whole cookie.
Yeah, and meanwhile, there's 3 members of Swiss Rolls also taking a tier 2 tower. Huntor is gonna be getting collapsed on, just like Pluto over here is looking to get collapsed on by Strat, but I think they kind of know that maybe Strat's by himself right now because nobody's coming over here to help with Pluto. Hold that thought, the Lizard.
Hold that thought. I was about to say, hold on a second before you can finish that sentence. The Lizard gonna silence you and silence the Morgan Le Fay. That's for the Pyromancer, buddy. Let me take this 3rd blue buff. This is mine. This is mine now. This is our blue buff, as you said, right? This is my 2nd blue buff. This is my timeshare blue buff. You're just borrowing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's over there by your house, but, you know, it's actually mine. I own the land, so...
Oh my god, SIRvente's getting owned. Collapsed by 4. That's trouble. Dash right into sleep. Nap time for you, buddy. Can they get the mez off that will spell your life? No, not quite. Rampage there for the Kali. Pushing it forward. Tier 2 is not on the brink. It's only souls. Gonna have to look. 4th Nemesis, Aritti. Gonna be able to thank your lucky stars you had those beads, friend. Caught in the middle. Could be in some trouble there is Crisp. Retreating back to the waiting arms of your teammates. Destruction being used to guarantee safety from the tower, and as well as the Phantom Shell. Maybe a bit of an overextension by Zebra Cakes. They won't die for it, but they will lose quite a lot of resources. And there is the re-engage, in fact. Gonna be trying to keep up the pressure. Just more of a stalling game to ensure that they can get more for it. And this is the issue when it comes to your hubris. You've overextended and you're paying the price as you see Astral Barrage raining on your head. The last shot's good. 2 kills down. Reyhum and Crisp will fall. And Zebra Cakes pushing it here. You do see Hunter finally liberated from the many ganks that were put on their head top. But they're continuing the pressure here by the Fire Giant Pit. Watery Grave gonna be put under Aritti's head. There's a leap from Delizard to try to find the kill. Beads to guarantee some movement ability just to move freely, but they're not actually gonna be able to pursue. They recognize that it was too late for that. Gonna try to find the kill on the mark. Strat not obliged, as I want that, buddy. I'm the king of Nene Kappa. He's going to actually secure another kill there for ZebraCakes. Once again, man, we're back to that back and forth action we saw of game 1.
Yeah, it seems like there was a little bit of a disconnect there near the tail end of that fight. I mean, KJ leaping in on top of DeLizard on the Kali, but he had no teammates. Both of his teammates were so incredibly weak, they had to run back to base. And I mean, you just leaped on top of a Kali. That's your one form of escape. So the Kali just gets to clean up one more kill near the tail end and clean up, you know, their second red buff. I mean, it only makes sense.
Yeah, at this point, it truly is, like, I don't think they're paying attention to jungle timers at all. But genuinely, as we see the Oni Fury being engaged by the ZebraCakes, I don't think people have really been paying attention to objectives enough on either side. It's all about the kills. Really trying to change that. There's Swiss Rolls with another steal, second of the game, put it on the board, and they might be stealing Crisp's life as well. Fatal Strike gonna get you out, but now the basic finds your back. There goes Crisp, courtesy of Yeet. This could be trouble. Hunter gets caught in the alleyways, lurking. There goes the pillar, but it's only going to ensure your own demise, friend. Lunge going to miss the mark. Doesn't matter, though. Aritti, killing spree, going to take down the on her. Astral Barrage, we have a bit of a split push issue. Might be in some trouble if the Lizard can find the last vestiges of damage necessary, but there go the minions. Oni minions, nonetheless, and that's going to ensure that push is stopped. But on the reverse side, Swiss Rolls putting it down as well. Onto the left side, Phoenix. Bombs dropped. Aritti's dropped though, Reyhum gonna find that. Solid damage, and Strat strutting it up. Gonna take the kill yourself, don't even need any help. Pluto gonna be sent to Mars. There goes the Kuzenbo, walking right down the jungle, just trying to continue and stall back. But for what reason? More kills? This man's bloodthirsty. Burnt to a crisp. Is the ramen just a second? It's only a rolling assault, but for what reason, buddy? You're just stalling the inevitable. Strat gonna find another kill there on the big turtle.
Yeah, I'm not quite too sure if YeetOnDaNaeNae is YeetOnDaNaeNae right now, because Strat credited with that one.
He's getting whipped on. He's getting absolutely whipped on, dude. Strat is such a phenomenal player when it comes to knowing when to aggress and knowing when you have capability, because they keep pulling kills out of a hat that I'm not seeing. It's out of that giant water bowl in your head.
I don't think I could have put it better myself. Strat just coming up big in that team fight, collapsing and taking out Pluto by himself, and then chasing down Yeet to get one more kill on the tail end of that fight. And I mean, ZebraCakes are coming up big. They almost got that Phoenix over on right, but Swiss Roll stealing the Oni fire and the Oni waves. I mean, there was a Kali with no minions under tower, and there were Oni waves and a bird attacking her. She couldn't finish it. So the fact that Swiss Rolls stole that might have actually saved their bird before Venti was able to recall and stop her himself.
Oh my god. Oh, so close. Swiss Roll's almost able to guarantee the third steal of the game. You got to get a discount or a coupon if you get 3 in a row. But now in a bit of trouble. They've used the lunge, taking to the skies. Watery Grave's been expended as well. All of our aerial abilities are. Aritti's retreating because DeLizard is on the offensive. Hunter going to find the kill onto Yeet. But DeLizard in a bit of trouble. Might have already used the leap, but there's the Phantom Shell, courtesy of Crisp. Fantastic work. Now you could be in some trouble yourself, Odin. Gonna get dunked on. No, lunge on out of there. You are gonna need some safety. Morgan Le Fay's clone's been expended, but the real issue is Pluto still around, still nearly full health. Caught the meanwhile, DeLizard gonna have to retreat from the Divine Judgment, but saying, who are you to judge me? Take this, destruction. Gonna be used to just ward off that pressure. Mid-tier 2 will fall, and they're continuing the aggression. Will it be all for naught? Crisp on the double. Reyhum gonna find the kill onto BirdofPluto. Aritti around the backside, just trying to find some safe means to get out of this fight. Strat's gonna be blocking your path, though. That's the bouncer to your own fountain. Crazy, man. Nene gonna be following them, saying, I want to take a dip too, but I don't think Aritti's quite cool with that. Doesn't really want any friends crashing that pool party. So they're gonna say, hey, we'll just, we'll jive over here to the Phoenix. Astral Barrage from way downtown. Bang! Yeet gonna take down Crisp. There goes the re-engage. Aritti deciding that is the play that we need to get some more pressure down, but maybe not enough. Killing spree there for Reyhum onto Aritti. Diving back in. You guys are insane! Deicide for ZebraCakes due to the re-engage from the ROM.
I don't know how you managed to not lose your breath through all of that. What a crazy, crazy team fight. It all started in mid lane, or over by the second red buff, and then transitioned to mid lane under that tier 2 tower. Absolutely crazy. Ultimates being expelled left and right in that team fight. And then a jungle bout, 1v1, a little bit of an ego match coming out of DeLizard and and the Nemesis on the opposite side. And then alt for alt expelled right there. But in the meantime, ZebraCakes just pushed into the bird, and they just got so much out of it. And Swiss rolls were just being completely separated, and they just got collapsed. 4 members fell, and there was only 1 left to defend the tier 2, the second bird of the team fight. And I mean, what a crazy fight. And I mean, a little bit of respect to Yeet using that rolling assault to leap in right there, just trying to trade his life for the mid lane on ZebraCakes, because he knew he was as good as dead.
It's scouting grounds. People want to try to make the hero plays a bit more than normal. Here go the Titans strutting their way down the mid lane, where the most destruction's been wrought. Gonna be expecting a bit more destruction too. Question is, how will they utilize it? This has definitely been the wild card of this season. Already some solid damage put on the Chaos Titans. ZebraCakes not trying to let it even get down to the middle of the lane. Fire Minion's not intent on it either. Epic Uppercut going to be used to just buy yourself a bit of safety. But taking to the back, aritti finds a kitty by itself. Going to try to get some more damage. Desert Fury to immune the slow from the slice and dice. But the shield actually going to put some damage onto you yourself. Double Dash going to find that. But Strat's got their own kill on a BirdofPluto. Blink away to just secure your winnings. And going to retreat back to the fountain is Yeet to ensure your own safety. The Chaos Titan's been driven back. Full health, armed escort. The Order Titan could just walk it right down and say, round 2, Titan, square up, because it's already been just 30 seconds since that one fell. There goes a kill on the Fro the Lizard onto Yeet. Execute range has been assured for the SIRvente, but going to be secure for the least bit as they dip into the fountain. Could be some trouble if they decide to overextend. ZebraCakes need to make sure they're choosing their fight carefully here. Or Titan's almost on the threshold. Just wait for them to walk in, buddy. Why are you so impatient? Seems that they're not intent on letting another game go to 50 minutes. Never again, they said. Leaping in is KJ. Aritti's in the back. Gonna look for the back line. Slice and dice. Solid damage. Good flicker. Get behind those minions. You need them, buddy. Watery Grave not gonna assure your mid laner's life. Aritti gonna find the kill. Just before we see another one brought down, the Lizard and Reyhum are out. Epic uppercut could spell the doom of Crisp. Double kill there on the Kumbhakarna. Strat is in hot pursuit, but at this point, what's even there to gain from it? You know that the double dash is going to certainly secure the Nemesis's life. Aritti gonna escape. Titan on death's door. But the Swiss rolls manage to hold out if they can take down this. Clash of the Titans. Come on, guys, you gotta do it. There it is. I was about to say. If there's no gods present, that would truly be anticlimactic. But the reset's been had. Swiss rolls can breathe a huge sigh of relief.
What a crazy sight to see 2 Titans just wailing on each other and one team desperately clinging on to the game as best they can. And as you can see by those graphs, it looks like it's starting to go to the opposite side of that hill a little, like kind of what I was talking about earlier. How, I mean, we've seen the very top of that hill, and it looks like it's starting to work its way back down. But I mean, with 2 birds down, both of them respawning right now for Swiss rolls, I mean, a little bit of signs of life coming up, but with 12,000 gold deficit and ZebraCakes looking just absolutely phenomenal in these team fights, it's going to be a very, very, very difficult thing to hold this game out.
Okay, let's break down these team fights, because that's really what this game's all been. It's just been nonstop action since game 1. I'm liking Aritti taking it to the back line. I'm liking Yeet playing bravely, but maybe too over aggressively. What are our rosebuds and thorns of Swiss Roll's teamfight strat?
I mean, for one thing, they're doing a very good job of just separating the team fight from Aritti diving to the backline on the Nemesis.
That's true.
Being able to separate that team fight, you're pulling Strat left and right with that. But actually,
there's a pull though. It's gonna be Sumo Slam in the back. Strat trying to separate once again. The backline's all 3 stacked up. Strat's caught by herself. Do you have the cooldowns, though, to finish off BirdofPluto? Not quite. Bird's staying alive for now. Just going to be in a cage for a bit longer inside the fountain. Strat needs to just exit out these doors. Says, please let me in, sir. Knocking at them, but they're not letting him out. Gonna have to go back in, only to meet your own fate. Shut down by Yeet. Gonna be trapped within multiple members. Crisp is looking to be in quite a bit of trouble. Brought down once again by Yeet. Could be the triple, not gonna be obliged. Aritti gonna find that kill. Mid lane, trying to get Yeet back, but the Phoenix will find you right afterwards. Reyhum, sole survivor, full health, saying, what happened? I turned away for 3 seconds.
Crazy team fight, and no birds were taken in that team fight. So an amazing defense from Swiss Rolls. Not only do they get 4 and potentially 5 as Aritti's looking to get a Reyhum right now. Blink coming out, and a little bit of a flicker coming out from the Merlin, but he's gonna get run down right here. Venti's really looking for this one, but
I don't know. Reyhum actually did a fantastic job peeling that away. The pre-beads off of the slam to ensure your safety. Nice flicker out of the cage. stunned down though. Here comes aritti, sliced up, diced up, deicide, reverse side. Swiss Roll's gonna roll over Zebra Cakes.
I mean, there was definitely a disconnect, in my opinion, from Zebra Cakes in that fight. You had 3 members looking to push in the left side bird, the healthiest bird, the most important bird to take in the game, with the Fire Giant on the table. But in the meantime, you had Strat going a little bit too deep, taking a lot of damage to the Titan. And the Lizard was 1 HP at what felt like the start of that last fight. And because of just that disconnect from Zebra Cakes, Swiss Rolls were able to just mop them up shortly after and get the deicide. And unfortunately, not able to get a whole lot off of that. They didn't even get the tier 1 tower in mid, let alone the Fire Giant.
Oh no, you might be losing your mid laner, in fact, out of it. Consuming power has to be expended for safety, but Watery Grave gonna send it to that exact location, courtesy of Strat. The front line's taking it to the back line. Gonna be knocked up as Crisp. Don't find yourself in a bad position. Belly bumped, brought down by the basics. There goes Crisp. Locked inside the zoo exhibit. There's a wild turtle for you, but now it's gonna be put in captivity, taken out courtesy of Yeet. Another double kill there for the Rom. A 1-for-2 trade, not one you're quite happy with. Swiss Rolls didn't get the FG, but they got something far more valuable, and that's 2 heads off of Zebra Cakes.
You know, looking at the player damage in the bottom left corner and seeing Kuzenbo second highest on the leaderboard, just barely behind your mid lane Merlin, is not something you see too often, but Strat showcasing why you probably don't want to let him get Kuzenbo in the future. He is just oppressive, looking for these kills on the back end. They find a kill, but they ended up trading their lives because of their own hubris, which it looks like Reyhum might be doing the same by looking to steal this Fire Giant away.
Not even looking to steal that, just looking to maybe try to get their own, back camps, perchance, saying, come on, we had your jungle before, can't I just have my own backs? No, not quite. FG gonna be looked to be dropped. It is the enhanced for Swiss Rolls, but there's an engagement here on the left side, trying to get down a Phoenix, but might be brought down yourself. Every time the Desert's Fury is brought out, a shield comes to match it, and a kill shortly follows. There goes aritti, popping off on the Honor.
Yeah, it's a very difficult matchup for these two.
Oh no! That was insane! Baited out the recall. The Lizard got the blink, had their finger on the trigger waiting for that leap. Says, you want the smoke? Gonna be putting down the incense, literally the smoke. Yeet gonna take down Crisp in the meantime, and now it's a complete 1v1. Who will come on top? The minions here to support, but it's only 1 basic away, maybe. You just need a little bit more. Slice and dice. Unstoppable is aritti. Brought down is Strat. The second deicide for Swiss Rolls within 5 minutes. They're killing it.
I mean, you've only got 1 member for the next 40 seconds. Well, Hunter on the other side, 20 seconds until his respawn. But I think that 1 or 2 of these birds are as good as dead. Their fates have already been sealed. And it looks like Reyhum's just going to have to do his best to just buy as much time until Hunter spawns on the Anhur. But I don't think he'll get time.
This is not looking good. They're not intent on it. No 50-minute game for you, this one. Swiss Rolls putting damage on the Titan. Here comes the damage core. What can they do? Doesn't seem like enough. Blink back to tower, little boy. We got no time for your games. Gonna find 1 onto KJ, but not quite enough. Brought down is Kumba, but brought down is the Titan. Zebra Cakes, unfortunately, not gonna find the 2-0 they were hoping for.
I'm dressed up for the circus, son. I literally can't handle what I'm watching, and I didn't know what else to do. I paced around my room and decided to dress up for the circus. We're going to a game 3. That's the big takeaway.
Not something I was expecting. I mean, being on the cast, seeing these teams and seeing Zebra Cakes just absolutely take it to Swiss Rolls, but unfortunately, they just couldn't end the game. The Titan got incredibly low, had about 1,200 to 1,500 HP left. I can't remember the exact number, but absolutely close to taking it. But Swiss Rolls with 2 deicides on the opposite side of that Titan defense, and they come out on top.
Somehow. I gotta say, the thing that's really keeps sticking out to me is the combo of Strat and Crisp. And I understand it. This time, it certainly didn't go the best of ways, but the way that they're able to 2v5 is really shocking. I also was very impressed by Yeet. We talked about maybe that Rama was a target ban game 1. A lot of times in scouting grounds, people just pull up Smite gurus to try to future-proof for their games, and I'm starting to wonder if that was the case with Yeet, because that Rama was really impressive. Same thing with Huntor. I think Huntor had a lot to prove after how game 1 was a chef in the kitchen on Hell's Kitchen and maybe lost their jacket. Game 2 was not the case. On her was ridiculous, especially 1v2.5 under tower, surviving it, getting a double kill. Really impressive stuff. But what were before we move to game 3, what were 2 of the bigger things? We'll say 2-1 from each team that stuck out to you.
I mean, Strat on this Kuzenbo, once again, ending just 1,000 underneath his mid laner. Absolutely crazy performance. A lot of reflect damage coming out that game from the Kuzenbo, and many, many watery graves hitting multiple members. And I mean, he just looked phenomenal on that Kuzenbo pick. The pressure that he can just output onto the opposing team for his team to just follow up or not follow up is just absurd. I don't know how anybody can even deal with that. I mean, the Kumbo was a great way to combat that. Being able to, I mean, multiple forms of CC, your root being able to just hold that Kuzenbo in place so he can't sumo slam somebody into a wall or into his teammates helped a lot to combat that. But, I mean, he just looked phenomenal on that pick.
Who's going to be the one to shine in game 3? That's going to be the big question. I can only imagine that it's going to be a 175-minute absolute just ridiculous showcase of everything that's wrong with my both Smite and my mental health. But we'll have to find out in game number 3. We'll be right back in the Smite Draft League with more Immortal Scouting Ground action. Don't go anywhere.
Take over the whole town, doing things your friends only talk about. Let's go on a late drive, switch seats at the stoplights, forget tomorrow. We only have tonight.
Hello, welcome back to the Smite Draft League, the home of all the broken casters. My name's AnthonyMalum, joined by Suun on the desk once again. Game 3 between Zebra Cakes and Swiss Rolls. And not surprised it went here. And I expect this next game to be 247 minutes at the bare minimum. Suun, what do you expect to see going into game 3?
If I don't see 400 kills on both the Order and Chaos side, I'm gonna riot myself personally. So these teams just love team fighting, which is something that's very exciting to see as a fan of Smite, because team fights are always so enjoyable to watch. But when we're seeing how long these team fights are going, it's a little bit like, okay, we gotta maybe we should prioritize the video game a little bit instead of just showing who's better than the opposing role on the opposite side. So
certainly a play-by-play stream. I don't even know what's gonna. My brain's so broken. I don't know what's gonna be banned anymore. They could first ban an Outwash, and I would probably be on board with it at this point. But the Tiamat ban gonna come out.
Looks like
Swiss Rolls is making sure to keep it away from Reyhum.
Yeah, a little bit of switching sides from them. We saw that. The Zebra Cakes were the Order side, both game 1 and game 2, switching it up for game 3. And a Susano ban coming out. I mean, not too surprising because, once again, he looked absolutely phenomenal in game 1 on that pick. So just keep him off of it for games 2 and game 3. Not too surprising. Robin ban, still standard, still coming out from Swiss Rolls. And once again, pretty standard stuff so far.
I kind of wonder, we saw the Rama ban in game number 1. And game number 2, that was definitely one of the difference makers being piloted by Yeet. Instead, we see the Nemesis ban. So 2 target bans for Aritti so far as we head into game 3. That says a lot about Aritti, I think.
Definitely a scary person on the opposite side for Zebra Cakes. Aritti has just been making the plays in a lot of these team fights. So just these flanks, these really long, prolonged team fights where Aritti can get in there, do a little bit of damage, reset, and come back in the same team fight. He has been having some phenomenal plays off of just being able to do that on the opposing side. So Zebra Cakes is just looking to put as much respect as possible.
My only fear with the 3 jungle bans coming out from Zebra Cakes is with the fact that the Tiamat ban was against you. There's a lot open for Swiss Rolls. They're going to start by locking down the Kuzenbo and taking control of that. Definitely don't want to see that again after it was topping the damage charge.
Yeah, I was hoping for a Kuzenbo ban to come out, but a first pick to just take it away from Strat works for me. We
What
cannot
a weird
let
place
him...
we've gotten to.
Yeah. So unfortunately, YeetOnDaNaeNae will not be able to run it back on the Nene because now he's on his team. So, but
Actually, at first this Bologna, I literally said, well, why not at this point? But I kind of see some logic in the Bologna. You did not lock down and deal with the Rama problem. You know that Yeet is a talented hunter. Bologna is a nice response for that. It can definitely kind of ease the pain of letting a choice hunter go to Yeet.
yeah, and I mean, just kind of going off that a little bit though. But let's look at those picks for a second. We got a Bologna and a Yorm on the same team.
Yeah.
Where are we thinking? Where are you thinking? I've got a decent idea of where
I hope it's Bologna ADC. I'm gonna go Psycho.
Bologna ADC.
Because at this point, like, why not? That's not what I would have thought when I first saw it locked in. But with the Yorm, I mean, it could be a Yorm support Bologna solo, because Yorm support's not great, but it's not the highest tier play, so sometimes it can kind of sneak its way in. Bologna support wouldn't be crazy for Strat, given the initiation that we saw with both the Fenrir and the Kuzenbo, but I'm gonna be a stickler and really hope it's an ADC Bologna.
I was thinking that was a solo Bologna and a Yorm mid. So we're going a little bit two different directions.
Okay.
Yorm
Your mid is SDL famous, so
yeah, he just has some crazy damage output when you build him as a mid laner, and he can just get in and get out with his ultimate. So it's very difficult to shut down a Yorm if they get ahead. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's mid. And we get an Achilles locked in. I might be leaning more towards this might be a Bologna ADC.
I am ecstatic. That is one of my all-time favorite picks. I think it is the most disgusting, annoying thing that can be locked in. It is not fun to play against, plain and simple, no matter what character you are on. It is just a zero fun lane. It's like playing Duel at 4 a.m. while drunk on Oceanic servers. It is just not a good time.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, that doesn't sound like a good time. Why are you up playing
not.
Smite ranked at 4 a.m. to begin with, let alone drunk? So, but one talking point we haven't even touched on yet is we've got a Nuwa pick coming in from Swiss Rolls. So
yeah,
very interesting to see that one. So I for one love Nuwa. So I love to see this pick get locked in. And I mean, just being able to shred the magical protections, especially with these 3 tanky targets on the opposite side that we already have. I mean, if they're caught out without their dashes and you just let those minions wail on them for like a quarter of a second to 1 second and then detonate it, they're going to be taking a lot of damage from that Nuwa. And I mean, once again, it's going to be very difficult to escape. This time it's not a Rom, but it's a Nuwa on the opposite side. So, but we could still see a Rom because it looks like Rom has not been banned out yet.
This could be the most chaotic game. All right. What's going on? So it's 100%. It's 100% Bologna ADC. It's got to be your mid, Achilles jungle, tier solo.
It could be tier support still. They still got one more pick that they can lock in.
I'm so glad I'm not the one casting this one.
Yeah, they're going to have a heyday with this one. So, and it looks like an Erlong Shen getting locked in.
It's a beefy game.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness. So, and Erlong being able to shred a lot of the percent HP. So, all of these really tanky targets on the opposite side, a decent lock-in coming in from the Erlong. We got one more pick coming out. It seems like they're using a little bit of their bank time, but one thing we still haven't talked about is Hatchie's finally locked in this set. Neither team elected to pick or ban it in game 1. Well, they banned it in game 2 during the second ban phase. But and we've got a Nike coming out. Got us a victory. I think we already know who's winning this game. I've got my money on Swiss Cakes.
This is ridiculous. Block in a Ymir ADC at this point. Or go crazy. Make it Ymir jungle. I don't care anymore. It surprised me. This is amazing. This is my game of scouting grounds.
What if it's an Odin?
I have a dirty secret that in season 4, and I hate talking about my playing because I'm not an interesting player, but this is a funny fact. I spent 3 days sick playing nothing but Odin ADC and went on like a 27 game win streak with Odin ADC.
You wanna know a dirty secret about me? Back in season 2, I used to run Odin Raven dual lane.
ADC. Oh,
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah. So it was Odin support,
Awesome.
Raven ADC, and I think we went undefeated all of season 2 with that strategy. So and that was old Raven ultimate, and that was old Gungnir's Might from Odin. So and it looks like we finally have what might be a sign of an actual mid laner coming out. We have a Thoth locked in.
Okay,
but
we gotta take our last guess now, though. So I'll go first because mine's gonna be
Alright.
wrong because I'm done play-by-play.
Alright,
I'm gonna
let's see.
say it's Bologna ADC, Yorm support, Achilles jungle, Tyr solo, Thoth mid.
All right, so to get wacky and crazy like these guys are, I'm thinking Thoth solo, Yorm mid, Bologna ADC, Achilles support, and Tyr jungle.
That goes stupid hard.
I'm thinking that's awfully silly. I mean, there's a few people that I know who have a Thoth solo, so I'm interested to see if Chris potentially has one. Who knows? So
This is gonna be I don't envy Zetan and Deelo one bit. There's gonna be a lot to pick at the brain of Zetan. And considering how game 1 went, I expect a lot of kills from this one. Ironically, what could happen though, this could be a very close game. And Hachiman could be an underrated value pick here with the Nike passive combined with the damage coming out from what you can get out of Keens in this build. The Hachiman could be a really important character to look at in this game.
that's gonna be very interesting to see. We've got a pretty standard pick from the boys in blue this game, from Swiss Rolls. But then Zebra Cakes on the opposite side just have. I think they just want to play Arena at this point. Like, so.
I think so too. We'll have to see how much Arena they play in game with Deelo and Zetan. Good luck.
What is this? What are we being left with here? This is insane. All right, thanks, desk lads. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Smite Draft League tiebreaker, but you wouldn't think it, thinking how silly these comps are. We have Swiss Rolls versus Zebra Cakes, Game 3. I'm Deelo, joined here by Zetan. Zetan, if you can collect your thoughts here, if we have any.
Well, I've already been wrong in my head. I
Okay.
was definitely predicting a Yorm ADC here.
That would have been awesome, but no, unfortunately, not going to see the basics off that. The smelly breath, little snake guy will be over here in the dual lane, but not quite in that role. I don't know, man. Just talk to me about your comps and like
This
your
is-
thoughts on these comps, please.
This is a comp. This is
true.
definitively a comp. You know, we've got the Tyr running in solo. Achilles is going to be jungle. Not a bad pick there. Oh.
Might have a good pick here in the mid lane. The Lizard caught out lacking. Solid reverse damage though onto aritti. Both jungles hurting a little bit from that. This certainly is a comp. There are 5 gods on each side. There's certainly a comp. They're playing Smite. There's 5 gods on each side. It's a comp. Oh, and here's the blink. There it is. Trying to find the backblast. Solid damage there. Gonna find it onto aritti. Caught lacking while he was thinking about how much of a comp this is.
So, you know, Zebra Cakes here, as we've stated a couple of times, they have a comp.
They do.
And it's going to do very, very well in the early. It's going to do okay in the mid. And it may start to struggle as the late game progresses because there's not going to be any ranged auto damage coming from a traditional Hunter.
Yeah. That's gonna be a
So
big factor.
I think we're going to see a lot of early aggression here. They're going to look to get a lead.
Here's a bit of it already. Blinking in, aritti trying to get revenge after that first death they had. Yorm might be the first to fall. Will they be able to cut the snake in half? There it is. Head cut off the snake. Thanks to Yeet, as well as the rotation from aritti. Solid work there to put the board back up 1-1.
Yeah, you know, the guys mentioned it on the desk. Kens goes nuts here on Hachi.
Oh, yeah.
The value of Kens cannot at all be overstated.
Uh-oh.
Reyhum in trouble though.
Just need the shards. There it is. BirdofPluto. Man, not even 3 minutes. 3 kills we're already seeing. Swiss Rolls putting it back in their favor on the board. I don't know, man. They're just not looking to stop when it comes to the aggression. Retreat on back, my friend. You could be in some trouble. Both members of the Swiss Rolls dual lane hurting a little bit. Oh, could find the pressure here as well. BirdofPluto. Strat lurking beneath it. Nice pre-beat, but will it be enough? Knocked up, brought down. The last bits of bad breath are not quite enough. Sliver of health, BirdofPluto. Man, Zebra Cake sure wish they had a new ult.
By the hair of his chinny chin chin, I think if Yorm had gotten a single more breath on him.
And there's a single more basic we need to take down Crisp. Not enough. This is where you need the new ult. Bring it down. Bring it down on their head top right now. Come on now. We're not seeing it yet. I'm not sure why we didn't see the activation. Maybe just a bit of hesitation or a lack of comms, but that's where you need it. And now back safely at home. The Lizard going to be able to escape out of that one. Or that was Crisp, actually. Never mind.
There are some serious cases here of people escaping with just nothing, and you know, I think a lot of that's kind of just due to how the game's being played now. People are harder to kill, and we're really seeing it there, where people are kind of just getting out in scenarios where they absolutely shouldn't. The new ult would have probably, I'm going to say probably killed Tyr. It's pretty weak at rank 1. You know, she doesn't have a full item or anything on. That could be the reason that they didn't use it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might not have thought it would do the damage.
Fair enough. Unfortunate, though.
Definitely would have been worth a try, though, I think.
I would imagine.
You know, looking at this Bologna, though, gonna be very interested to see what happens when, you know, Yorm leaves the lane and the two carriers are kind of left to themselves, because Bologna fries hunters. That's just what she does.
I mean, and it's an auto attack god here. Hachi, not quite known for the ability prowess, sure, like Heavenly Banner. It does some damage, but it's really meant to, if anything, prop up your auto attacks. And with the disarm, with the block stacks, it's going to be such a frustrating lane. The question is then, Z10, do we rotate over as we see Swiss Rolls making a bit of show here in the dual lane to alleviate the pressure, or do we leave it alone? Let's find out. Aritti gonna blink in with a nice pin. You want ult down as well to put some damage onto your head top. Gonna have to use the flag there, but I got one of my own, says Hachi. Nice job there from the Swiss Rolls, guaranteeing themselves the kill onto Hunter. So seems like Swiss Rolls answered my question for me. But Z10, do we think that's the right play to put pressure there in the dual lane?
You know, it's hard to say. You know, with the changes to the items and everything, it's I haven't seen a Bologna carry in a very long time. It's kind of a question of, like, are you worried about it snowballing? If Bologna gets ahead, she's definitely hard to fight.
For sure.
And
bird on bird action here, but Reyhum's the real one. The Ibis, as it is called, can be able to take down Nuwa. Bit of a rotation here. We do see could be in some trouble. Here comes the engage.
oh, it's Nike. She's safe. Nike is extremely hard to kill at this phase in the game.
Yeah,
you know,
unfortunately, just not going to be able to quite have the last vestiges of damage there. But when it comes to the solo lane matchup, then Z10, what do we expect to find here?
Well, Tyr into Nike, you know, it's really gonna. I think it's gonna stalemate. There's not a huge amount of risk of those gods just outright killing each other. Provided, you know, both are being played on similar skill levels. They're not really going to kill each other without outside assistance. We do have the Erlang ult committed. Nothing.
Yeah, they're going to be trying to engage here and looking for the mid lane. Could be in some trouble here. Glyph of Pain, and as well as the Fire Shard is going to drop down onto your head. Could be some trouble. Not going to be quite too much, though, in the mid lane. Just going to be some solid damage for posturing. It's starting to slow down a little bit, but both teams still showing that they have some fight in them.
Yeah, it's definitely slowing down a bit. You know, we went from 3 kills in the first couple of minutes to, you know, now we're almost at minute 7 and the kills are at 5. So we're definitely taking the pace down here a little bit. You know, like I was talking about before, you know, Bologna Hachi, I'm fascinated by this matchup. I really want to see what the Bologna is going to be able to bring to the late game. She's definitely going to have the engage ability, and with a few damage items, she's going to have the damage output. It's just not going to be ranged.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I mean, you talked about it earlier. Like the lack of range damage on Zebra Cakes is something that's going to make or break you. You're boxing when it comes to these engages. If you see Kuzenbo try to step up to you, you have quite a bit you can respond with. But when they're just hailing basics at you from long range, Eagle Eye, pins, what can you do in those moments? It's gonna be a question of when and where. Really trying to answer that question at the moment, but might not have the answer to it right now, buddy. Reyhum's got some damage on board for you. There goes the Erlong Shen. SIRvente trying to step up. Might decide that's not the best option. You are no Strat.
Well, and that right there, the Toth on Reyhum, I feel like that kind of is the Zebra Cake win condition here. If they can keep Toth alive, and Toth is allowed to free cast, Toth has enough range damage to account for everybody. So if they can look to play around Reyhum here, get Reyhum big, Reyhum's going to come on with a lot more damage a lot faster than Nuwa is.
And here we see Reyhum going to be putting down the pain with the Glyph of Pain as well as the Hieroglyphic Assault. Aritti taken out there, killing spree for the Thoth. Gonna have to use your ultimate there. World Serpent just gonna put some damage on before they decide to go. Little souvenir for you. This is gonna guarantee so much safety here from Strat. But they're actually gonna re-aggress at about half health. You could be in trouble from the Watery Grave though. It's not gonna knock you up, just gonna result in more damage being taken. And that's what makes this pick so frustrating if you decide to make those plays deep into the tower, because you can't be sumo pushed. You can't be knocked up. You are immovable.
Yeah, the Yorm definitely has an excellent matchup into that, but on the other side of it, that passive.
Oh no, it might not be able to save you though if you don't get out of the air. They don't have the World Serpent this time. Brought down once again. There goes the snake, courtesy of Yeet. Hunter gonna put the kill back for revenge. Just gonna be whipping this turtle down, bludgeoning him a little bit, but not gonna be quite serving turtle shell soup just yet. SIRvente gonna survive.
Yeah, you know, the Yorm, anytime he takes the CC, he's taking extra damage. So he's not actually like, he's not getting moved, but he is taking extra damage from it.
Yes.
And, you know, with the Hachi there, once this Kens and stuff gets online, that's going to start to be significant. And if Yorm, he's going to have to position perfectly. Because if he's caught out, that extra damage is going to spell serious trouble for him as the game moves on and the builds progress.
And we've seen through games 1 and 2 how unflinchingly willing Strat is willing to go into the front lines and go to the back lines, go anywhere in the map. So you got to be careful. In fact, you're seeing right here, just showing it. What a lack of respect. I love how these players on Zebra Cakes are just completely dominating jungle control. And they might even be looking to do it on the other side, coast to coast. Zebra Cakes show no bounds. They are not very kind house guests.
It does look like Eagles Rally just came out, though.
I mean, will it be enough is the question. Mounted archery, gonna just put the shots behind you. A little no look there, a little 180. Gonna buy you some safety, but the guy is not gonna be quite able to get the gank off, so a bit of wasted time here by Delizard. When it comes to these ganks, it just hasn't been quite as successful. Here's the reverse, and let's see if Swiss Rolls can make it happen. Gonna be Lawbringer back onto yourself, because you know the support's here, and that comes in the form of the snake. The pools are spread. Nice bellow there. Gonna find a bit of damage, not quite as much as you hoped maybe. Here comes SIRvente on the Kuzenbo. You might have the Watery Grave for you to try to bring him down to the namesake. There's the Sentinel of Zeus. Solid damage onto Aritti. Solid damage onto the Lizard. BirdofPluto has the ultimate. It's going to bring down one. It's a 1-for-1 so far. World Serpent being activated here. Just going to once again posture for a little bit of damage. We're going to emerge in the midst of 3. Strat really does not care about how many you have. Says 5, 1. I don't know how to count. I'm just going to keep on the fight. But you might have been overstaying your welcome a little bit here, buddy. Is that totem really worth it? Trying to be brought down by KJ, but the knockup guarantees you a bit of safety with the tower as well. How does Strat get away with this? Who do you think you are?
It's Strat's world. We're living in it.
It's actually insane to watch. Engagement continuing because Strat stalled for long enough to make time for the rotation from the Lizard. That's insane. Kill for Zebra Cakes. Aggression here on the reverse side. Gonna be one for Reyhum's pocket. Yeet following to the hieroglyphic assault. That is... come on, man. Just like leave Strat alone. Put him in a box. That guy is insane. He will just continue to box 1v4 and like have no qualms with dying, but somehow manages not to every single time.
I didn't want to say it. You know, I thought he was dead there. I definitely thought he was dead there.
Do not put any money on this man dying. You will be out of a home.
And yeah, no, I didn't say anything because I was like, hang on a minute. You know, it's Strat. Like,
yeah. That's okay. So then let's talk strategy here. How do we counter that? Who do we focus instead? Who is priority number 1 on the Zebra Cakes for the Swiss Rolls to take down?
Honestly, your focus needs to be Toth. Without Toth, the team fight capability of Zebra Cakes goes down massively.
Very true.
As we were talking about earlier, the lack of kind of ranged damage. If you take Toth out, that's it. Everything else is up front and melee.
It's a very, very point. So you have to see if Swiss Rolls can do that. It must be noted, though, Zebra Cakes does have, with this 3-warrior comp, quite a bit of peel to keep your mid laner safe.
And, you know, maybe that's the idea behind it.
This mid laner might not be safe. Gonna have to take to the skies because the snake is lurking. What comes up must go down, but Nuwa gonna remain safe for now at the very least. The 15's been dropped, and Reyhum can just stay safe. And that's why if you're going to have this kind of comp, a Thoth is going to be a very good choice for you. Can just deal out that damage from halfway across the lane.
Yeah, and you know, the first item that Toth built was the Charon's coin. Not a huge amount of power, but these days, with the T3 items kind of going down in power, it's not as huge of a deficit as it once was.
There's a deficit of health for SIRvente. Achilles on the offensive, does have the execute range, I believe, but gonna decide for the safer target instead, and that's aritti? No, they're not even gonna pay. That's peanuts for you. We want something else, I suppose. We want the one who's over in the dual lane. We want the carry. But they're gonna keep putting the pressure onto this tier 2 tower. 4-man strong for Zebra Cakes, but gonna have to withdraw for the moment. Seems they're not quite confident in their sieging abilities.
Yeah, and you know, Hachi's, as I said his name,
as you say his name, drop down to half health in seemingly one ability, and Swiss will say, okay, that's enough for now, we're good. We'll hang back. This might be a potential Fury engage for the Zebra Cakes, should they decide to risk it. Could be in a bit of trouble. They're trying to split up Swiss Rolls. They're trying to almost shepherd them to the mid lane. A bit of hurting going on. SIRvente gonna be the first one to step up. What will they bring to the table, though, is the question. You do have the Watery Grave, not quite up just yet, so that could be an issue for you. Bring down to less than a third health. There goes the Fury, but there goes Strat, finally taken down, and if that's possible, anything's possible, say the Swiss Rolls. Let's full engage, take down every single one of them. I want their gold. I want all of it. Not going to be able to quite find it, though. There goes the new wall ult, this time only going to bring Huntor down to within a sliver. The Lizard, as well as the rest, going to retreat. Swiss Rolls now going to engage on this Fury, and Nike's just going to take it to the front to continue playing zoning duty. Swiss Rolls secure the Fury.
yeah, you know, they said Strat's dead. We have a solid 20 seconds where we can fight with impunity. Get him.
Yeah, really smart.
You know, Hachi's build is it's coming to the dangerous point for Zebra Cakes here. Oh, Dillard.
That's a dangerous point. KJ, with confidence that they have the damage and the persistence to find the kill, succeeds. Now the scoreboard reads 7-8. It's a bit of a catch-up game when it comes to the kills, but gold, bit different. 3K deficit, 7K on the side of EXP. Zebra Cakes, despite the unorthodox comp, is really making it work, but could be some trouble if you're caught 2 lacking underneath the tower. Gonna have to make sure to retreat back. Hunter just deciding, milling about. Do I re-enter the fight? Has the Scourge out to get some extra health back. But aritti, thanks to the defense, gonna be able to ensure that tier 1 tower still stands.
Well, and given the Zebra Cake comp, you know, this is kind of what I touched on at the very beginning. This is their time. The early into the mid game is where their comp is absolutely the strongest. Their objective burn is not going to be great. You know, Bologna will provide damage, but it's not going to be quite that of, say, Hachi. So, you know, they're looking to fight. They're looking to push what they can down early and build this lead. And right now the gold's at about 3K. But, you know, if they can get this pyro, get a couple more of these towers down, you know, you're starting to get into the realm of, you know, almost an item over.
And that's where things start to get deadly. And speaking of, Fatal Strike, will it find its mark? Watery Grave, you're brought down to it yourself. Courtesy there of DeLizard. Just going to up some farm here on the other side. That's unfortunate. You spoke about the strategy, the fact that Zebra Cakes, it's their time right now as they start to look to grab this beacon. So in the case of the Swiss rolls, do we step up? Do we contest? Or do we decide to play passive?
You know, with a Erlong, Nuwa there, Hachi, there's 4 members of Zebra Cakes.
Oh no, Strat, come on, man. You've already played this game once. Nuwa gonna take to the skies. Not quite enough. Don't count your chickens before they strat. And now Strat's gonna straddle his way back on to the tier 1 tower. How do you keep getting away? They got a Nuwa for this exact reason, but it seems that it's not quite paying off. Leap on in. Here goes the Nike trying to get the damage. Nice mounted archery gonna find 2. Reyhum might be the first priority. They're all starting to loop around the Ibis. Gonna try to take it down. Nice beads and Aegis to ensure your safety for a little bit longer. Sumo pole back underneath the tier 1 says, get over here. There goes Bologna. Hunter down. Reyhum gonna find a counter kill, but brought down soon after by KJ. There goes the shutdown right back to Lizard courtesy. Here comes the World Serpent. Strat's on the offensive says, I don't like the fact that you've killed me. That's not supposed to happen. That wasn't in the script. This is, though, solid damage on a BirdofPluto. Low on mana. The mysterious fog's down, but it's no mystery what's inside. It's a Nuwa cooked up by the dragon. There goes one more for the plate. SIRvente gonna get served up, courtesy of DeLizard. 4 down on the Swiss rolls versus 2 for the Zebra Cakes.
All right, Deelo, I'm gonna need you to remember to breathe.
It's difficult.
This may get rough.
Okay, I got this. Talk to me. What's going on?
You know, that fight was all over the place. It started out so well for Swiss rolls. They had Reyhum on the ropes, and then Strat came back. You know, you got Reyhum, you got the objective, you got the Toph out of the fight, and then Strat comes back, and the fight just proceeds to spiral badly.
Yeah.
Strat's doing a lot here. You know, that the last game, you know, we watched Merlin do about 40k, and the Kuzenbo, you know, right behind it, like 39. And here we are. Toph is at 14k, and Jormungandr, piloted by Strat, is right behind at 13. Yeah, how do you deal with this?
3 Strats, I think, beats every 5-member team here in the Mortal Division, honestly. I think you need 3 Strats and a Dream. And that's going to be the title of the album if they manage to secure this. Going to have to retreat using that ultimate DeLizard. Blink to ensure the safety. There goes the World Serpent. Going to try to find some more damage as members of Swiss rolls push deep into the jungle near the tier 2 tower. Trapped within the body block. Solid work to get more damage on a Hunter. Oh, when will that ever secure a kill? Never, say the Zebra Cakes. No. You should not have picked this mid. You should have gotten yourself another Yorm. Instead, Swiss rolls gonna have to opt for the jungle camps and maybe a Fury. Not if Strat has anything to say about it. You're never safe if that's not on a death timer.
I mean, you're absolutely right. Swiss rolls are pulling the gold here, and they got it.
There it goes. It was a great Lawbringer attempt, but now will they get the disengage? Good stun, provide a bit of peel. Crisp is trying to ensure a bit more here. Trapped within. Here comes Strat. Not happy with what you've done. Naughty. There goes aritti. Strat gonna continue the offensive. I'm just looking where the big snake is. There goes DeLizard. Gonna pop off on SIRvente once again. 2 down for the Fury, but the jungle's gonna be stripped as well. Zebra Cakes, I gotta wonder, do they feel good about this? If they get the tier 2, they certainly will be. And that's going to be an unfortunate trade for Swiss rolls. They're trying to step up, but nothing coming there. Crisp, calm down, please. It's not necessary. The Fearless has been expended. Could be in some trouble. Leapt on in. pushed on out. The Sentinel, not enough damage. There's a little bit more. There's the new ult that you need. The one moment you need it, you can't get it. Gonna try to find the mounted archery, but how do they have so many escapes? Zebra Cakes are untouchable. I know that Jeering said those things aren't very moist, but man, their play is looking wet right now. This is insane. Strat's back on the offensive, reading down on the back of your neck. There goes Yeet. Hunter gonna take the kill, but we know the real MVP for that one. Hunter now caught in a bit of a sticky situation yourself, buddy. Brought back in. Will the new wall find a kill? Never. You should just expect your KD to remain O forever, BirdofPluto. Now on the offensive, here comes Strat once again. We've lost Hunter, but we still got the Dragon. Gonna try to 2v3 this. Can they do it, though? Knocked up, brought into the pools. Quite a few around. Solid damage here to boot. Crisp gonna opt to just have faith in Strat and bring her right back on top of their heads. Solid Fearless there. Catch two. BirdofPluto just tossing out as many minions and as many shards as possible. But what can you do against the scaly hide of the Dragon? Here comes the Hieroglyphic Assault. There goes one for Reyhum, but there goes two for Reyhum, and there goes one for Bird. It's a mid-for-mid trade as far as the kills go, but which one will fall? And it's going to be a triple kill there for Reyhum onto the Thoth. Huh.
So, about Strat.
About Strat. We need to talk about Strat.
Man.
Talk to me about Strat.
Man. Strat and Crisp just, fought a 2-on-3. Crisp did eventually die.
Yes.
Strat continued to fight 3 members of the opposing team long enough for Reyhum to come all the way up the lane
Yes.
and clean the fight.
Yeah. That's been Strat's MO, though. It's always to stall and wait for the cavalry to arrive, but while at the same time doing so much damage yourself. Like, what do? Do you just disengage immediately? I feel like Swiss rolls cannot afford to have any more extended fights.
No, these extended fights are definitely going in the favor of Zebra Cakes. Strat might be caught.
No, not quite though. Enough. He was about to be brought into the World Serpent, but this could be the fight that Zebra Cakes were dreading to happen. Strat already dropped Aritti with a nice blink to get yourself to safety, but they're just running alongside, trying to find the last bits of damage. Scourge not going to find it before the Nine-Tailed Blessing going to heal you back up. Delizard going to find the kill onto Yeet. Pushed back into the tower, but you're by yourself, my friend. Could be in some trouble. Here comes the leap from the Nike. Sentinel of Zeus will be shortly following. There it is. Looking for Delizard. Solid stun to deny the slams. But can you find the last bits of damage off a leap or a basic? Anyone will do it. There it goes. KJ going to find Delizard in the back. The Kuzenbo still looking to be in a bit of trouble. Reyhum popping off once again onto the opposition. There goes the bird from the bird. Gonna be Aegis and Beast to ensure your safety because they're just diving in on him. Don't give a crap. Aritti gonna say 1v3, 1v2 now, buddy. Now it's a 2v2. And now it's a 3v2. Here comes the Titan. Nope, never mind. Back to 2. Back to 3. Let's see how the numbers play out. Gonna find the tower shots. KJ gonna take down Crisp. Order Titan just watching that saying, hey, nice job there.
Phew. This is, yeah.
It's a comp.
So,
it's a comp, Z10.
You know, we see what's happening here when Toth is being kind of allowed to free cast. And eventually the team did turn on the Toth.
Yes.
But, you know, prior to that, Toth is just firing. And he outranges almost everybody.
Correct.
I would like to draw attention to Hachi's build here. Not necessarily what he's building, but where we're at in the build path.
I'd like to draw attention to Hachi's life bar as we see it being eliminated by Strat. Why don't we see what's going to happen here? Taking bites out of Prime and out of the Hachi. Going to be trying to take the kill down. Oh, under a lot of pressure. Hunter going to survive that. And Strat's just continuing it on. Going to find the kill before being brought down. That is a raid boss right there in Strat. Aritti cannot feel great about that. It's really just sad to see Strat just wailing on any one of your teammates. Here goes Zebra Cakes, though. Continuing the engagement. Reyhum's still up. Can they ensure the bird stays protected? Swiss rolls just going to be on the fritz, knowing that maybe we should just concede this one and group up a little bit more, waiting for the next opportunity.
You know, the analyst in me could make the point that like what Strat's doing is not the support's job.
This is
However,
true. It's awesome.
if as the support you're killing the carry in a 1v2,
That's not good. Hold on a sec. We might have to hold this point because we just saw Reyhum go down, and that, alongside Strat, is exactly what you needed to start popping off. Crisp with another instinctual saying, oh, this is what I do. I Lawbringer right on top of myself. No, buddy, you needed to get out. Zebra Cakes gonna lose another one. Strat's back up at the very least, but they're still hurting for this. Fury going to be engaged. Can't imagine that we'll have a hero to pop up and deny them this opportunity. Primal going to be dropped for Swiss rolls in just a moment.
and it looks like Hachi and Nike are moving over to the Pyro, which is a good move here because like Toth is the only thing there that outsecures.
Let's see if they are able to do it. Zebra Cakes managed to secure that one for yourself, so at the very least a 1-for-1 trade as far as the objectives go. Could be in some trouble here. Moving down the mid lane. There's a bit of a bait being set up. They're on all sides, but Swiss rolls deciding enough bloodshed for today. A day of peace, please.
Okay, fair enough. Allow me to amend my statement. Toth should be the only thing on Zebra Cakes that outsecures.
There it is.
Yikes. Right as I got the words out of my mouth.
This is looking to be a bit of a yikes. Gonna be brought down as the Lizard. Fatal Strike gives you a bit more space, but not quite enough. Gonna be brought down to the fountain by KJ. Here goes Strat. It's a passive objective. That's your own objective to beat. I don't know what buff you get when you take down Strat, but it's just confidence. Because KJ is just gonna pay no attention to the giant snake. But you do if there's gonna keep basicking you behind your back. Solid damage in the backline on Strat. Sentinel of Zeus gonna give you a nice fat shield to drop yourself back into the fight. Strat gonna find the kill onto aritti. It's just a complete cluster. What are they going to do about it? Swiss rolls trying to disengage a little bit despite the fact that Zebra Cakes are rather poked out. Reyhum those here, and that's where the damage lies. There goes KJ. Solid Fearless. Yeet's on the offensive though. Strat gonna find another kill on a BirdofPluto. Yeet's continuing it though. Double kill onto Huntor. Will they be able to bring down the raid boss is the question on everyone's mind. Has to use the Aegis. Any hit will do it. Reyhum gonna get one, but Yeet gonna find the triple onto Strat before falling themselves. What is going to happen here? Can you get it? Double for Reyhum. Deicide for Zebra Cakes, and out of breath for me.
Yep.
These fights are wild. These fights are really wild, and we're
their S keys
starting.
are broken, bro. Their S keys are actually broken.
It's
tech
possible. It is possible. Maybe 10 separate people all had their S key malfunction, in the same 30-second span. It's not outside the realm of mathematic possibility. Improbable, but possible.
I think it's the only explanation at this point, G10. I think we have to start resorting to drastic conclusions.
When the plausible has been exhausted, the implausible.
Exactly.
Hachi is reaching the full build point, and this is where I am hoping to see him shine into this Zebra Cakes comp. He's got the Kins, we've got the Exi, we've got the Dom, we've got all the items completed, and
we've got the aritti on the back looking for Reyhum, though. That's the trouble. They know the target. Gonna be able to bring him down. Flawless ambush by the Erlong Shen. They're gonna just have to collapse all their attentions onto it to pay him back in kind. Courtesy of Hunter. There goes the kill. Watery Grave, though, gonna find another one. SIRvente serving your head up on a platter. Low is Yeet. And there goes your Hachi. That's your one hope to find the last vestiges of damage. Maybe not, though. You got the Nike. Crisp gonna fall. And that's only 2 remaining on the side of Zebra Cakes. But one of those is the big bad snake. What will they do? Nice evasion of the World Serpent with the leap. Gonna have to opt for the Fatal Strike defensively. Strat, for once, finding that S key. Hey, good for you, buddy. I'm glad you were able to locate it. And just gonna have to decide to call this one quits.
Yeah, with Nua showing up to that, she too is approaching full build here. She's got, the Warlock staff completed. We've got the Soul Reaver. We've got the Ethereal. she could have definitely ended Strat there.
Oh, Garrett, there goes
Speaking
Strat. In
of-
fact, right now might be ended on the quickness. BirdofPluto gonna take him out, and this could be trouble. Now they only have Reyhum and the Lizard up. Not the most tanky comp to ward off aggression from the Thoth. Might be enough, though. There goes KJ. Judgment's been rendered, and you've been deemed unworthy by Reyhum. Moving it down the front. The Lizard not going to quite have the last vestiges of damage, or maybe the confidence without Strat to back you up necessary to keep on pushing. SIRvente just looking to survey the battlefield a little bit. Don't be a tourist for too long, buddy. There's a Bologna trying to whack you down.
Yeah, and you know, Bologna is as well full build that, you know, the Death's Embrace there. Oh,
Oh my god! The unabated aggression from aritti with these blink engages has been so sneaky, so well played. You can try to ban me out all you want, but it's still the same player behind the god, and that's what you can't stop. Crisp, once again, the up-down right on your same location. What has it paid you, though? Not well, certainly, when it's on to Yeet. Gonna bring down the tier. Push back into a wall, pin down. Can you get yourself out, Hunter? Nice, retreat to the waiting arms of Reyhum. Here's the new ult, finally! BirdofPluto ascends to the skies, comes down with a kill. Cherish that, it's a gift to you, my friend. I'm pretty sure that might be the first new ult secured kill of the 30 kills that Swiss Rolls has in their pocket.
so this is definitely the moment. They're looking to pull fire here.
Look at this
And
POV.
here comes Strat.
POV, you are a god. Strat gonna take to the ground, take to the world. He wants it all, he's gonna gobble it down. Just Fire Giant's been engaged on, but they need to disengage at this point because Strat is just gonna run mayhem on you at this point. The rest are trying to pull up. Solid damage. Strat's gonna find it onto Yeet once again before the return kill is gotten by aritti. But I don't think this is tenable. Are they gonna be able to secure it? There's still a lot of frontward pressure onto it. They have Nike zoning. EFG could be in the pockets of Swiss Rolls. There it's going to go. Just a moment longer. There it is. FG secured. Fatal Strike gonna secure something of your own though. D-Lizard not happy about that engagement. Gonna try to continue pushing. Not gonna quite be able to. Looking to maybe cut off the Nike, but doing Nike things. Gonna be able to escape just fine. In the end, 2-for-1 trade. You do have the EFG on the Swiss Rolls though, and that is a scary, scary prospect.
Yeah, Erlong's going to be able to do some damage to the towers. You know, he's got the attack speed, he's got some pin, he's got a decent bit of power there. So it's not quite the end of the world that Hachi didn't get the EFG buff, but it is wildly unfortunate.
Yeah. No, that's definitely going to spell a bit of trouble for their objective play. But speaking of, you might see some gravitation over to this left side of the map. aritti, I know you love ambushes, but you might get caught lacking yourself if you step up like that. Gonna be driven on out using the 72 transformations to ensure your own safety. We're fighting over mids now. After the grand scale war, we're fighting over peanuts like this. Come on, guys. Don't be so
why
petty.
not?
I guess you're right. Look at these charts, man. That's insane. I have never seen such a deep divot mended like that. They have Flex Seal or something. That is a lot of damage they've restored. Might be finding some damage onto your back, Hunter. 72 transformations gonna ensure you the basic attack speed. All ultimates being expended. Here come the shots through the wall. Here comes Strat. Here comes the hero. Gonna try to find the damage before Hunter falls. Not gonna be assured. aritti gonna find that kill and ensure your own safety. But who's on the prowl? It's Strat, gobbled up by the World Serpent, coming back for seconds, for thirds, for fourths. We want it all. Gonna take underground, but might be falling yourself. Yeet finally gonna find that kill. Evade, punish. There goes Yeet in return. Reyhum's now by himself though. Egg has been expended. Beads as well. You have 2 glyphs of pain down just for double damage. Not actually, but there's the fatal strike. Not gonna find its mark. Reyhum needs space. Reyhum needs life. Not gonna be obliged. SIRvente with the kill. The Lizard gonna follow it up onto KJ. There's the fearless, but you should have fear of the grave of the turtle. SIRvente double kill on the Kuzan bow.
I don't know that I've ever seen a game in which so many team fights have resulted in the deaths of almost everyone on both teams.
That's how it's been going each time though, and it's because I don't know, maybe they're just trying to impress someone, I feel like, but they are trying to impress the captains after all. But the result is that they can't push the offensive afterward.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're going to get a T2, and that's gold in your pocket. It's definitely a net win, but in order to close this out for either team, really, you're going to have to find a way to get one of these near deicides or a deicide and not lose your whole team behind it.
Yeah, but then what's the change of modus operandi? What do we do differently? Maybe it's just the fact that everyone's so bloodthirsty, we need to maybe just take one kill and just call it a day. But no one seems intent on doing that, least of all Strat. Gonna deny them that opportunity at the Fury.
Well, you know, if you're Zebra Cakes here, you can kind of look to play front to back.
Oh no, brought back down. There goes the Lizard, courtesy of SIRvente. Killing spree for the Turtle. Continuing the offensive pressure in the mid lane. Watery Grave. Will you be brought down there? Reyhum's under a lot of pressure because once again, they know where the damage is. Full collapse. It's a blue and red just spree of bars everywhere. Can't even discern what's going on, but I know that Strat's down, and that's good for them. 4 down, 5 down. Deicide. Swiss Rolls have got it going. They're going to march right down the mid lane. Titans got no hope if Strat can't. That was the real objective they had to secure. Swiss Rolls have brought it all the way back from a game 1 loss. Now they're rolling it on over to the Titan. What can you do, buddy? They took down the scariest monster that you had, and that was Strat alongside the rest of the supporting cast. Zebra Cakes gobbled up. Swiss Rolls gonna take it in 3.
Freedom. All right, I'm AnthonyMalum. Sun's with me on the desk. Thank you, Deelo and Z-Tan, for Game 3, which goes the way of Swiss Rolls and the reverse sweeps of the most chaotic scouting ground set that I have seen in 3 seasons of SDL.
Yeah, that was a riveting bout between these, as some other casters might say, a real barn burner between them, because my goodness,
the barn is buried in hell.
Oh yeah, it is 6 feet under for sure at this point, so it's nothing but ash. But oh my goodness, what an absolutely crazy game. I mean, we were kind of expecting it once we saw Zebra Cakes' draft for this last game,
which I had right, by the way.
Yes, nice job on that. I noticed that as well when we got in the game. So, but absolutely crazy game coming out from both these teams, and we would have expected nothing less once again from the draft. So
I don't know what to say, man. What do you say about games like that? That was just the most chaotic, like pure just hellscape of a game we've seen. Let's try to look at the stats and pick up what we saw. I mean, honestly, I would expect all 10 players to be early mid pickups, because find me somebody who didn't do good. It's not possible throughout the 3 games.
yeah, that's absolutely what I'm thinking as well. And find me somebody who still wasn't putting in work, 2.5 hours into this set. Like, I mean, all 10 of these players just did a fantastic job of having some impact, even if they're totally burnt out after such a crazy long set.
Hear me out. If you're a captain, is it worth... Ooh, I'm getting really crazy with it. Is it worth, on a wraparound, grabbing Crisp and Strat? Because we saw them do some serious dynamic duo stuff.
That would be kind of crazy to see those 2 players on the same team. Absolutely. I mean, I would be eyeballing them for sure alongside,
everyone,
8 other players in this lobby. So just a crazy good game to see out of these players. And I mean, Nua ending top damage on her team, not too surprising. Had a fantastic game that game. I feel like Pluto was struggling a little bit in the first game of the set, but really came back in games 2 and game 3 and had a great showing in those 2 games. And so we love to see it. And I mean, just look at the KDAs on all these players. I mean, everybody was getting active. Everybody was getting in there.
It can't really get much more impressive than that. And I think when the captains get a hold of this set, there's going to be a lot of draft boards that may have some drastic changes. But it's been a long 3 games, so I think that about wraps it up for us. Once again, my name is AnthonyMalum. On the desk, I've been joined by Suun. Thanks to Deelo, Jeering, Z-Tan, and of course, iNooblet for running the cameras. This has been the immortal Zebra Cakes versus Swiss Rolls. And an exciting one at that. We'll see you next time on the Smite Draft League with more Scouting Grounds action.